2412.
Veteran Prince Highlight comment to the female veteran doctor medication. She's the worst to say, David. Attack and 12, take the check that one out.
614, 217.
Also still staying for talk. No.
Supervisor and case report.
1830. I'm sorry, we're not happy. That's okay. Got it, one more time. 847 Fulton. 2234 Venus from North with domestic battery at 1815 North Winchester, 18.5 North Winchester. County indicated the caller and the owner of the vehicle. Alright, thank you. 111, 113, wherever 11.
Yeah. Damn, it feels good to be back. Good to be back. Come on, stream y'all. Stream yeah. What's up, everybody? Oh, it's so good to be back. Good to be back. I got a special little thing for y'all. Just check this out. I added my third cam because we are going to be having these canvas painting and wine streams coming up here very soon. And I got this third camera set up. I want to show you a little surprise. Oh yeah. Y'all get now we got a new member to the bunch over here. We got Darth Vader. So we got Jizzy G and we got Darthy V right here. Just a little extra camera just to have fun with you guys. But look at that, Jizzy G's looking right at the camera too. He's saying what's up. And then we got that moon that changes colors just to have a little fun. All right, let's get back to this camera and we'll get into saying hello to everybody. I apologize. It's been a couple days. If you're in the Discord, you know, unfortunately, everything that I had lost in the fire is not covered. Not even the cleaning or restoration. So I was dealing with that the last couple days. And it's a lot to take on. But I'm here with you guys tonight. I couldn't be any happier to be able to be at the studio and to be able to do the regular show again. It was a lot of cleaning today and yesterday. That's one of the reasons why I was kind of not even around really that much. A lot of cleaning. But it's a process. There's plenty more to do. And I wanted to make sure I at least got this room done. Um, so that way I could continue to give you guys shows while in between, kind of getting caught back up. Uh, Living life on life's terms, you know what I'm saying? That's all we can do. Live life on life's terms. I want to say shout out to the person uh, that I came across that had mentioned that. Thank you. It's a hell of a quote. It's true. And all you can do is just keep going and live life on life's terms. So good evening. What's up, Skittles? How you doing? What's up, Kib? Melissa? I missed you guys too, trust me. I missed you guys too. Tomorrow, I do have the notification out already. If you want to click on it, we're going to be having the architect on tomorrow morning. And we're going to be talking Tupac. So come join us tomorrow morning if you'd like to watch some stuff on Tupac. Me and the architect have been into this case ever since the day it happened. So it's going to be a really fun show. I can't wait to have him on. Plenty more collabs to come, and I'm excited for that. Excited. What's up, Caddy? Good evening. Oh, my coffee. My coffee. What's up, Calamilla? Oh, I'm so excited to be back with you guys. Brandy Wine, what's up? Thank you for hopping in. Sherry K. DS. Oh, I'm loving being back at the studio. Now, and if you're in the Discord, you'll know, but if not, I'm gonna be going to Idaho. I don't know, with all this stuff that took place, the fire, and then it being a lot more than what I ever even anticipated. It's going to be a last minute kind of thing. I'm sorry, I can't really try and schedule it. I don't even know. Uh, I'm still waiting on the insurance adjuster, which they're just gonna. It's just a big headache. I'm not gonna bore you guys with it, but it's just a lot. It leaves the next few weeks up in the air. I don't know if I'm going to be going to court, different things like that. So I apologize. I'm going to make it no matter what, period. It might be a little earlier. It might be on time. It might be a little later. I really, I'm at the disposal of forces beyond me when it comes to what day I actually get out there. But WILL capital will be there, trust me. Debray, what's up? Bianca, so we'll be there. And it sucks because you save money by pre-planning, but I can't even tell you what's going to be happening in 2 weeks, and that's the crappy part about it. And I didn't even do nothing. All I did is get my shit and run out. What's up, Lisa? Oh, yeah. What's up, Grizz? What's up, buddy? Oh, I'm sorry, Melissa. Oh, you were telling Melissa. My bad. Thank you, sir. Let me put that link in there again 1 second if you are interested. And also, let's see here. Sub to Grizz too, because that dude, he's got some awesome content already. Made the intro for the show, and he's got something else stewing in that pot. So I'm excited to see what this gentleman's got coming. And Grizz or anybody else, if you're interested in the banners or getting anything like that, hit that link if you got Twitter, and she'll get you hooked up. She did these beautiful ones. Even the little screens you get like this, and you get like this. Oh yeah. Shout out. I'm blessed to be surrounded by talented individuals. That's for damn sure. What's up, Sandy Toes? Good evening. My favorite K-Babes. What's up? Yeah, we need to get Grizz on here too. Are you still interested in going through that map, buddy? Let me know. It's been hectic over here. Yo, what's up? And I'm going to be opening up. Dre, what's up, Dre? Oh, StreamYard's bugging. Wow, it took 20 minutes. That means it might be a good night, huh? I shouldn't speak too quick. Knock on that wood, right? What's up, Stardust? What's up? What's up? Ooh, nice. Well, we got those. I'm gonna be drinking a glass of wine, and I'm gonna have the camera set up in the corner, so you get the view from behind me, where you see me painting it. Then you're also gonna have another camera set up, where it's gonna be on the actual painting up close, and then I'm gonna have another camera. Okay. Then I'm gonna have another camera set up to on the photo of that we're actually going to be painting. So it's going to be cool. You're going to have 3 different views. You're going to see up close. You're going to see me from behind, and you're going to see the picture that we're painting. So that way you can paint it too if you want to. And really, all you have to do is go to a local Five Below or even order from Amazon. Just get some cheap canvases, a set of acrylic paint, a little set of brushes, and for $15, you can paint along with us. Also, if you are going to be painting, even if you think it's horrible, please, art is beautiful. All art is beautiful. So if you're interested in joining along and painting the picture, please send it in. And then what I'll do is for that painting show, that will be the thumbnail of what we did for that show. So everybody's painting, you send it to me, I'll put it together in a big collage or whatever, and then that'll be the thumbnail for that painting show. I think it'll be really cool. So even you can go click on the thumbnail and you'll see your piece of art for that thumbnail. I can't wait. Coming soon. Damn, I need a glass of wine, you know? I'm ready for that glass of wine. But yes, I can't wait. Painting streams. It's going to be great. And we're going to be doing some true crime themes too. So I'll get a picture. We'll make it look cartoony, artsy, so you can, it'd be a little easier to paint for yourself. And then we'll make it our own style. So you can do it whatever you want, whatever colors you want, whatever. It's going to be cool. Can't wait. What's up, Susie? How you doing tonight? Excuse me. Yeah, it was a grease fire. That was they tried to put it out with water. So what's up, Silky? We got to do some shows together. I'm so sorry I haven't been available to join. I apologize. It's just been really hectic the last couple days, and now I'm at the process of it where it's wait, discuss with attorney, you know what I mean, clean myself. But yeah. So anything cloth, I don't know. We'll see. As of right now, anything cloth is basically a loss. But I don't know. We'll see. We might be able to save the furniture, depending on if this restoration place. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. There's so many things that are just like I don't fucking know, and it sucks. But you live life on life's terms. So, You can't let that shit consume you because then you become a different person. And that's not what we're here on this earth for, you know? Nice. Thank you for the sub, Mary B. Appreciate that. Delphi been crazy last couple days. Well, we'll be getting into a little bit of that too. We're going to be getting into Idaho 4, Delphi, Stephen Smith, a little bit of Tupac, just a little bit of Tupac. We got to save the good stuff for tomorrow and whatever else is going on out there. Whatever else. It's going to be good shit, though. Finger paint, you can do it however you want, Lisa. Art is art. Art is art. Yes, adult coloring books are great. That's true. Yes, wine and paint nights. Glass of wine. I'll be drinking a glass of wine, maybe 2, but not 3. But yeah, I'll be drinking a glass of wine and painting. I can't wait. I can't wait to. It's going to be so much fun. It's something that I wanted to do ever since I made the show. And you can go back to the first couple episodes and you can hear me talking about it. Painting, and wine. Thank you for this membership, Renee. Appreciate that. Kaboom, boom. I already have my supplies. It's sweet. Yep. I got the stand and I just got to set it up and then we're good. I got a lot of cleaning to do here. So I got to make sure that it's a balance, you know, but I'm definitely going to be here a lot more. So. Aw, thank you, Stardust. I appreciate that. It's so sweet of you. All right, let me see here. 1 second. So there was an update on Stephen Smith. So I wanted to share that real quick. This is Fitz News. I just freaking clicked out of it. Son bitch. There we go. Let's check it out. Come on. Come on, stream y'all. Come on. Kickstart this shit. All right, there we go. And we'll get this guy flipped too. Deborah, thank you very much for becoming a member. I appreciate that. That's one thing I need to get back to too, is the members only stuff. Just all this shit recently. What's up, Peaches? Good evening. The traveling, going to these different cases, and then this fire the last couple weeks, dealing with that. Not only physically, but spiritually too, you know. It's something that just, you know, your life flashes before your eyes, you lose shit, and you're just like, you know, you at the same time you're like, damn, I'm lucky, and at the same time you're like, gosh, man. Life on life's terms. All right. It says right here, Stephen Smith grand jury zeroing in on primary suspects. Focus tightening. Now we went and did a recap of this case. Now the shows were back from April. Understandable. But we did a recap on this case, and if you didn't get to check it out, check out this episode because this talks a lot about basically who they're talking about. All right. So let me see here. Okay. Where in the hell did it go? Hold on 1 second. What the hell? We talked about the suspects. Okay. Well, give me 1 second. I'm not sure what happened to the video. Well, the recap. So I'll just give you the real video. 1 second. I apologize about that. Here's the playlist link. What? Shit, I'm missing chat. I saw something about vodka. Hold on a minute. I gotta get this playlist up real quick. Come on. Yes, Sean, Patrick, and Mark. Okay. Now, this is the episode. This episode is from March 31st, 2023. So here's the link for that if you want it. Yeah. Now, these are the two individuals that they're talking about. This episode goes through it. Now, keep in mind, this was from March 31st. This is in the middle of me doing my dive on it. It didn't seem very plausible at first, this theory, because it seemed like it was trying to be confetti. Okay, like it was trying to be a smoke screen set from the Murdaws. But as I started digging in more after this episode, I was like, oh, hell no, this is the most plausible theory. And you see that when you watch, I did an episode with Silky where we basically, it was a top off to the Stephen Smith case. And that's where I went over all the evidence. Whoa. Okay, that's where I went through all the evidence with Silky. Okay. But the Sean and Patrick, this is what they're talking about here. Okay. Now, this is very interesting because this, and I might have to make a trip back there because this is what I was, if you guys don't know, back in March, okay, I was covering this case, obviously, because the show was from March and April. Back in March, we were watching an interview from the attorneys, okay? And one of them, Bland, really likes to be out in the open when it comes to press conferences and such, okay? Now, what's interesting is he made a statement during that press conference, and he said, somewhere, I wouldn't be surprised if sometime in September or October, everybody's going to find out what really took place, and everybody's going to find out who was involved. Okay? Now, what's interesting is a couple weeks ago, same dude did an interview, made the statement about how the mother wouldn't need their representation very much longer. So to me, that told me, oh, shoot, something's about to happen. Now, last week, there was some news about the scholarship that was created. But now, this is interesting because it's September, it's October, and then it says right here, grand jury zeroing in on primary suspects, focus tightening. Now, the attorney Bland made a statement a few days ago saying that he was upset that the mother wasn't getting any answers. But the crazy thing is it's like, well, you got to wait for people to talk. I thought Sled was doing an amazing job. Shout out Sled. This is interesting. Words matter, classifications matter, and reporting on criminal investigations, they really, matter. And if you want the link to this, here it is in chat. Let me get to your chats real quick so I don't miss anything. There's the link if you want this article yourself. And then we'll get into Idaho here. They were saying it was a hit and run. Now it back in when was it? Back in earlier in the year, June, May, somewhere around there in the springtime. They changed it. It was after Murdaugh was convicted. They changed it from a hit and run to a homicide. It never made sense that it was a hit and run. That's why I went through it and deep dived it, because I was like, this is one of the most messed up cases out there. Nobody's even talking about this. Is that gremlin's name Gizmo or Magua? I call him Jizzy G. We have Darth Vader and we got Jizzy G. I'll show you guys real quick again, and then we'll get into this article here. Yeah, we got Darth Vader and Gizmo, Jizzy G, Darthy V, right there. And his lightsaber lights up, and I can talk to him, and he repeats it back in Darth Vader's voice. It's badass. Jizzy G, he just does a little lullaby. You know the lullaby if you've seen the movie. I'm not going to do it. I can't duplicate it. And I don't want to upset the young fella. All right. We'll get into this article real quick, and then we'll get into that Idaho 4, because I know everybody wants to talk about that Idaho 4, and so do I, because it's been a long time since I talked Idaho 4, y'all. I need to catch up. No, that's not that. No. Jizzy G. What's up? All right. Let's get back into this. For example, I'll go ahead and repeat. Words matter. They really matter, especially as it relates to the leveling of serious allegations against individuals entitled to a presumption of innocence, which is true. At this media outlet, we choose our words very carefully. For example, on June 9th, 2021, less than 48 hours after the graphic double homicide at the heart of the Murdaugh unalives crime and corruption saga, Alex Murdaugh was a person of interest in connection with the investigation into the unalives of his wife and son. Today, he is considered a textbook Okay, we're going to skip that part. Okay, in the case of Stephen Smith, though, hold on. Let me just go to the top, because it's a weird article spot here. 1 second. Let's just move me up to the top, because this is a weird spot for an article. It's like way down. All right, there we go. So in the case of Stephen Smith, though, there has been nothing but doubt, especially as it relates to whether his unsolved unalive had connection to the now infamous Low Country family, whose legal dynasty ruled a 5-county region of the Palmetto State like a fiefdom more than a century. Right? Generation after generation after generation. To recap, his body was discovered by a passing motorist, quote, a tow tow truck driver at approximately 4 a.m. Eastern on July 8th, 2015, in the middle of Sandy Run Road near Crocketville, South Carolina. Look up Brunson, South Carolina. Burnson. That's really where it's at. Visible on Smith's head was a significant laceration, 7.25 inches, which extended across the superior mid to right, involving the right eyebrow. According to the initial autopsy, thought to be a wound from a firearm, later the result of a vehicular hit and run. The subsequent investigation failed to reach a specific conclusion, fueling a barrage of wild tales. They're not wild if you go into my deep dive of it. It makes sense. So, releasing the case files to look at everything from a clear, unbiased perspective, and more importantly, to put all the materials we were using in front of the audience so they could see everything that they were seeing. Meanwhile, Smith's body was exhumed in April from its resting place at Gooding Cemetery in Crocketville, South Carolina. We went there. We went to all these spots. According to our sources, this second autopsy has confirmed many of the same injuries described in the first autopsy, including the massive injury to the head, the damage to the back, and the presence of road rash on the arms. The news outlet had not been provided with a copy of the second autopsy, nor has it been released by Smith's family. However, according to Fitz News sources, it confirmed previous assessments of Smith's injuries and has led to those reviewing the materials to reach several definitive conclusions. Now, all you needed was the bones, and then you could determine the cause. Okay. Started. Okay, now among them, on the night that he was unalived, Smith was struck by a fast-moving object, not a vehicle, okay? Was struck by a fast-moving object on the front right side of his head at an angle. Injury which caused an almost instantaneous subsequent impact of the back of the head on the roadway. That's why I said during the evidence, if you look at the hand, that's why I said there had to be some kind of seizure. Okay? Again, go through that episode, please, if you're not familiar with the case. The evidence, or the recap that we did. Both impacts together in the span of less than a second were catastrophic. Smith was walking northwest toward his home, maybe. At the moment of impact, the object, I kind of think that he was held there. He was unalived where he fell. Immediately, he was not unalived at another location and transported to the crime scene. As noted, some road rash was visible as the body briefly slid approximately 1 to 2 meters across the pavement in the middle of Sandy Run Road following the impact. What struck Smith? The crime scene remains a study in contradictions. The location of the body in the middle of the road was totally inconsistent with the vehicular strike, but the massive loss of fluid observed on the asphalt was totally inconsistent with him being unalived at another location. Again, go through the evidence episode that we had. Also, all of the blood visible in the crime scene photos is flowing in one direction toward the ground off of one side. But how could a vehicle have unalived him? There were no skid marks, no vehicle debris, no physical evidence of any kind indicating a vehicular strike. Now, as we went through the highway patrol and the sled and their investigation, they had multiple LE even after days later, weeks later, going out there trying to find any kind of evidence that they could find to match up with a vehicular strike, and not any one of them could. That's why 3 officers, when the pathologist came out with it being a hit and run, 3 officers right away went to discuss that with the pathologist, and also made reports stating that they do not see any kind of signs of a vehicular strike. Homicide. Homicide. It doesn't make sense. It makes 0 sense. In the aftermath of the latest autopsy, a subsequent forensic analysis, experts are reportedly coalescing around the original theory of the case, that theory that Smith's head was struck by a large extended side mirror of a pickup truck. I don't think so. I don't think so. Something else. As we previously reported, on December 15th, 2015, SCHP Corporal Michael Duncan, we went through those interviews before, conducted an interview with Nick Ginn, who at the time was an officer with the Hampton, South Carolina Police Department. Ginn has since been elected to Varnville Town Council. According to Ginn, he received a phone call in early December 2015 from an individual named Darrell Williams, indicating Smith was struck by a vehicle, specifically one of the side mirrors of a truck belonging to 26-year-old Sean Connolly of Brunson, South Carolina. Connolly was reportedly accompanied at the time of this incident by 26-year-old Patrick Austin Wilson, also of Brunson, South Carolina. Wilson was 18 years old at the time of Smith's unalive. Connolly was 17. Basically, Darrell called me and he said, look, he said, this is what I was told. He said, Patrick came over here to the house. He told me that Sean Connolly was drunk and hit something. Ginn said, he said he went back the next day to see what he had hit and saw a lot of police out there. So he talked to one of the cops and then he had left, and he learned, I guess by media, that somebody had been unalived in that same area. That's why the police were there. According to Ginn, Williams told Sean called Wilson crying, saying that's what had happened. Wilson was reportedly so distraught after retelling the story he became nauseated. Patrick was crying, telling him after he got finished telling the story, he walked outside of his house and threw up, Ginn said, referring to his conversation with Williams. This response convinced Williams that Wilson was telling the truth, according to Ginn. Nick Ginn full interview right there, and we'll click on that in a second. I'll share it and we'll check it out either later on in the show or another night. Ginn also told Duncan he believed Connolly had repaired the damage to the mirror of his truck in the aftermath of Smith's unaliving. Supposedly he had fixed his mirror. He had patched one of the mirrors up on the truck, Ginn told Duncan. This news outlet has since confirmed the truck mirror theory of Smith's death is at the heart of the evidence presented to a statewide grand jury currently investigating the case, although our sources declined to elaborate on the nature of that evidence. Readers will recall Mark Burkhart, who claimed to have been Smith's boyfriend at the time of his unaliving, said Smith referenced a pair of rednecks in a pickup truck who allegedly harassed him in Snyder's Crossroads on Highway 63 between Walterboro and Varnville, South Carolina on the night he was unalived. We were there too. According to Burkhart, Smith claimed the 2 individuals who harassed him were riding in a big truck with mud tires. The last time we had talked that night before the phone went down, and I said to him, "Are you walking or not?" I know at one point I heard big mud tires. Burkhart said, big mud tires. They're like coming toward him or going past because they sounded loud and they were getting louder. And that, I believe, was the last time I talked to him. Now, if you were with me on the trip down to South Carolina, especially down in that area, even 2 hours away from Stephen Smith's location, the roads are horrible. And even my tires sounded like frickin' mud tires on those roads. So, what he's saying right there, I can totally, absolutely believe, because I'm telling you right now, those roads are loud even with some regular tires. I don't know how it's made. I don't know. I, I, I don't know where they get their pavement. I don't know. All I know is my tires sounded like mud tires. All right. Let me see here. Attorney Eric Bland, who represents Stephen Smith's mother, Sandy Smith, announced in June that a statewide grand jury was considering evidence in this case. Bland predicted there would be answers to some long-standing questions about Stephen Smith's unaliving before Labor Day. What he said was September and October. That's why I went down there. This news outlet independently confirmed the grand jury investigation, but as soon as I noted last month, Labor Day came and went without resolution. I remember him saying September or October. I thought there was going to be something by Labor Day to be Bland acknowledged on a recent episode of okay, so maybe it was that episode. I watched an interview on a news channel a long time ago, and he said September to October. According to sources familiar with the status of the ongoing investigation, the grand jury is continuing to zero in on Connolly and Wilson as primary suspects in Smith's unaliving. Our media outlet previously referred to these two individuals as top suspects. However, there had been speculation as to whether others were involved. Bland has suggested SLED was zeroing in on as many as 5 potential suspects. However, our sources have not confirmed that information. And we went through all 5 of those suspects on the Theories interview on that playlist. We went through all of them in one episode. The 2 have been in the crosshairs of this inquiry for some time now. Wilson was first named in the SC Highway Patrol multidisciplinary accident investigation team. Say that 5 times real quick, I dare you. The MATE report on Smith's death, released 2015. Our media outlet exclusively published that document back in March. Shortly therefore after, we first reported on Wilson and Connolly's shared status as persons of interest in connection with Smith's case. Both Wilson and Connolly lived in the area near where Stephen Smith's body was found, and as we noted back in March, information obtained by SLED investigators has reportedly drawn a sharper focus on them as potential suspects. If you read the MATE report, there's only 1 page. It's a half a page, but man, it says a lot when it comes to these 2 suspects. The following month, we published another detailed report in which it was noted one of these 2 primary suspects attempted to manufacture an alibi regarding their whereabouts on the evening of Smith's unaliving, which is obviously a major red flag. Oh, pizza sounds so good. Gosh, pizza sounds so good. Oh, damn. According to our sources, grand juries have since been presented with evidence indicating additional deception on the part of one of the primary suspects regarding the truck mirror theory. Once again, our sources declined to discuss the specific evidence or the alleged deception. However, they indicated one of the suspects had been caught in another lie. I'm telling you, my 2 favorite foods are pizza and tacos. Does this mean we are moving closer to criminal charges in connection with Stephen's unalived? Not necessarily. Quoted, grand jury investigations take time, one of the sources cautioned. Oh, this coffee tastes so good. Also, it is important to remember that while this investigation appears to be moving in a very specific direction, there still is no guarantee criminal charges will be filed against any of the primary suspects In assuming criminal charges are filed, anyone charged would be considered innocent until proven guilty by our criminal justice system or until such time as they may wish to enter some form of adjudication in connection with a plea agreement with prosecutors related to any of the charges that may be filed against them. There we go. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back up to this. We're going to share this in 12 minutes. You know what? We'll just go ahead and watch it real quick as before we get to the next topic. Mute. Why is it muted? All right, 1 second. Here is the link to this video. This is Fitz News. Shout out Fitz News. Appreciate it. There we go. And there's the link for the video. And I'll have closed captioning up. It's just a 12-minute video. We'll be getting into Idaho 4 next.
This is Corporal Emmy Duncan. Today's date will be December the 21st, 2015. Case number on this will be CL-062-15. Time is approximately 15:25 hours in the afternoon, or 3:25 hours in the afternoon. I'm attempting to call an officer, Nick Jen, with the Hampton Police Department. This is in reference to a tip that came in from email from Sergeant Burns, and I will be calling him from my office phone here in Charleston. The number to the Hampton Police Department will be 803. Again, this is in reference to KCL-062-15. This is in reference to Stephen Smith investigation in this case.
Sergeant again.
Sorry again, this is Corporal Duncan with the Highway Patrol.
Hey man, how you doing?
Good. I'm calling you in reference to, I believe somebody come to you about the case we have there in Hampton County, in reference to a hit and run or possible hit and run, somebody claiming that information. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Can you got just a minute I can talk to you about that?
Sure. Let me get a piece of paper here. I'm at somebody else's desk right this second.
Okay.
That way, if I need to write something, I can write it. Give me 1 second.
All right, that'll be fine.
All right. All right, Corporal, you there?
Yes, I am.
All right. Some of our phones have line 1, some of them don't. So.
All right, I understand.
Wonderful technology.
I know, that's what I was about to say. It's always that way sometimes when you start talking about technology.
That's right.
This case that we've got, I'll go over a little bit about. We've got some information, about certain things, and this was a tip that was given to us from, I believe, a Patrick Wilson. It's a he said, she said deal that we've gathered that information so far.
Right.
And I believe this come from is it a Darren Williams? Is that correct?
It's Daryl.
Daryl Williams. Okay.
Yep.
And do you know Daryl?
Yes.
Okay. How do you?
He is my stepdad technically.
Okay. All right. And supposedly Patrick Wilson told him this information about.
Right. Daryl was dating Patrick's mama.
Okay.
So Patrick's kind of looked at him as a father figure, over the past, I don't exactly know how long they were together, but basically he just looked at him as a father figure. He came fishing and hunting and things of that such. So. Okay.
Can you tell me what was told to you? We've tried to get in touch with Patrick, but he's kind of avoiding the call, the contact, and all.
Right. Basically, Daryl called me and he said, "Look," he said, "this is what I was told." He said, "Patrick, come over here to the house." He said he told me that Sean Connolly was drunk and hit something. He said he went back the next day to see what it was he had hit, and he seen a lot of police out there. So he talked to one of the cops, and then he had left, and then he learned, I guess by media, that somebody had been killed in that same area. That's why the police were there.
Okay.
So with him telling, he said that Sean called him crying, saying that that's what had happened.
Okay.
And then Patrick was telling Daryl, and Daryl told me that Patrick was crying telling him, and after he got finished telling the story, he walked outside his house and threw up.
Okay.
And he said, Nick, this is just me thinking. He said, but I think that Patrick was with him. He said, why else would he throw up and get all upset like that? Because somebody else, had done something.
Right. Did he go into any detail about how it happened? Do you know? I mean,
so, supposedly he had fixed his mirror. He had patched one of the mirrors up on the truck.
Okay. All right. I pulled all of his records, and I was looking to see what kind of vehicles they had, and I didn't know if he described basically how he hit him or how what happened.
It was supposedly the mirror, and I don't know. I got Mitch. I think I sent him the pictures of the truck that he's driving, and then he would have been driving that night.
Okay. All right.
But I'm pretty sure I want to say that I sent everything to Mitch.
Mitch.
Yeah, Altman.
Okay. Is that okay?
Because him and my brother and all grew up, and he and I are pretty good friends, and I didn't know exactly who to contact. So my first thing when I got off the phone with Daryl was, all right, Mitch popped in my head, highway patrol. So I called Mitch, and he said he would get that information where it needed to go.
All right, and so basically, just your knowledge of it is a third party, is from what Darren is telling you.
Right.
This is crazy. I've never heard this. This is the first time I've heard this. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. I've never heard this.
He said he was concerned.
Oh, wow.
Somebody needed to know because somebody's lost a son and stuff like that. And he said that's just something that you don't just sit on if you know anything about it. So
when did he come to you about this? I mean, we got this. Let me see. We got this tip. We got this back on December the 9th.
Wow, this was 6 months ago.
For Patrick.
Maybe I did hear
it.
Then
my thought was, well, let's just let's see what was told.
Maybe I did hear it. I just don't
someone
remember
else.
it. I do not remember hearing this.
But when did he come to you about that? Do you recall? I mean, it came to us December the 9th.
It hadn't been no longer than 3 weeks.
Okay, all right. And I'm assuming he called you by phone. Is that correct?
Since you left.
Yeah. Let me look and see. I might be able to find out when the recents in my thing here is.
Okay.
Well, that probably would have been about right. Because my phone's only going back to the 13th.
Okay. All right. So somewhere around the 8th or 9th or so.
Yeah, and I can look at Mitch's where I sent him a text message.
Okay.
Originally.
But you did send everything that you remember. You sent it to Mitch Altman.
Yeah. Every time I got something new, I would send them.
Okay. All right. Have you heard anything else about other than this incident? Have you heard anything else about? I don't even know if you're aware of this, Rick.
No. Well, I heard some rumors around town, but as far as anything that I could say that had any kind of possible validity would be this.
Right. Just the only thing you've heard prior to this is rumors.
Right.
Okay. And
I found it was Wednesday, December 9th at 7:58 a.m.
Okay, December 9th. Let me write that down.
That's when I sent it to Mitch. I told him I needed him to contact me ASAP.
Okay. All right. As far as Patrick goes, what do you feel about Patrick? I mean, what kind of person you think he's?
As far as a good-hearted person, I think he is, but I think he's a little.
Is he shady? Yeah, I'm not trying to be.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be, put words in your mouth. Don't get me wrong, but that's the best way I kind of describe people sometimes when.
Well, that was the word I had in my mind, but I was trying to think of a better way to put it.
I understand.
His dad is not, his real dad is not a outstanding society member.
Been arrested,
Whoa,
before.
okay.
Yeah, and I think he's in some drugs and stuff like that. So.
Well, you think Patrick does he have a criminal background as far as that goes as well? I mean, only reason why I'm
I
asking.
think he was charged with attempted murder, but I'm not exactly sure what the circumstances behind that was. I want to say that was one of them times that they may have charged him a higher charge to work their way down.
Yes, sir. I understand. I understand.
Yeah, but I mean, anytime I ever have any dealings with him, I mean, he's very respectful and stuff like that. But he's a little shady.
Okay.
That's probably the perfect word to use.
Okay. Do you know where the best way? We talked to his dad, and he went up there to try to meet with him. But do you know any other way we can contact him?
I can get a number. I'm not positive. I can't say that he would answer.
Right.
But I might be able to get a number for you.
Okay.
The only way that I know how to contact him is through Daryl.
Right. We went that route, and it's just he's been cooperative, trying to do what he can for us, but you just can't. How old is Patrick? Do you know?
Patrick is probably, I guess he's somewhere around 18, maybe.
Okay.
Robbie, do you know Patrick Wilson? He's not that old. I know he's got a driver's license.
Okay, so he does.
But I feel certain he's under 20.
Okay. So relatively young though.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Anything else you can think of? Just let me know. I mean, anything else you can think of now? I'm sitting here trying to rack my brain about how to get, try to find him. But sometimes when people don't want to be found, you don't find them until you just, run across them, basically.
Right. Let me see what I can work, and if I can come up with something, I'll give you a call. Let me get your number.
All right. The best way to get in touch with me is through my cell phone. It's gonna be area code 8. That's my work cell phone number.
And what was your name again? I apologize.
Last name is Duncan. Duncan.
Duncan.
Uh-huh.
You don't have the privilege of working with Sweatman or English, any of them, do you?
No, and I don't want the privilege. No, I'm just kidding. They're good guys. I give them down the road, but no. Usually, I've got 5 guys I primarily work with around here, and I get to see them every so often. So.
I got you. If I can come up with locate him, I'll definitely let you know. But like I said, Daryl's usually my contact if I needed to get.
If you find out anything, just give me a call.
No problem. Let me give you my cell phone number too. Just.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, man.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Very, very interesting call. So again, I'll share that link again one more time if you want it. And let me get that music back on too. All right. So now, let's go ahead and do that. And we're going to get in to some Idaho. And I'm going to open up panel too. If anybody wants to hop up, you're more than welcome. We'll get into some of the newer stuff first. Listen, I haven't been able to cover it for a while. So I'm going to need some catching up myself. So we're just going to kind of take a look. And if there's any certain part of it, let me know. Go ahead and get into it. There's that if anybody wants to join. And I'm going to go ahead and get into this. This is regarding the Memorial Garden. So we'll go ahead and play this real quick.
A memorial garden for 4 U of I students murdered almost a year ago is one step closer to reality. The university is moving forward with plans to create a garden and memorial for the 4 students and for other enrolled students who have passed away. Krem 2's Kyle Simchuk went to Moscow and brings us more tonight.
There have been memorials, vigils, and funerals, all temporary.
Yeah, we'll be getting into
places
some of that dad stuff.
Chapin, Xana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Consalves. Since their murders last fall, the University of Idaho has been working with students to create a permanent place to honor their lives and other enrolled students who died far too young.
We're hoping to identify space on campus to build a memorial garden space for students, employees, and community members where we can come together and grieve for the loss of our lost vandals.
Dean of Students Dr. Blaine Eccles says that process started shortly after the murders. A committee of students and university staff have been meeting weekly.
We have about 150 students and some community members, some employees that are gathering today to brainstorm around what could the Healing Garden look like. What are some elements they would like to see?
The garden will be dedicated to all enrolled students who never lived to see graduation day.
We do lose students every year. Since January, we've lost 6 students that were currently enrolled. But we also know what happened last November was a very significant tragedy for our campus, as well as in our entire community. So within
I just got to pause this real quick. I got to shrink this a little bit. This guy has presidential hair. I'm just saying. He's got presidential hair. I just wanted to look at that hair.
In the garden itself, we'll have a specific memorial honoring the memory and legacy of the 4 students we lost in November.
Like, what kind of product do you use, man? Damn. All right. Back to the presidential.
The memory and legacy of the 4 students we lost in November. The entire Healing Garden is all about all of the vandals that we lose over the years.
The project is supported by donors. To date, they've raised more than $200,000. The university's College of Art and Architecture will also be involved with the design process. The committee is still a ways out from deciding where the garden will be.
We were able to identify a couple of places on campus that thought would make a good spot for a garden. There were some considerations that went into that from the committee, including an area that has some sort of seclusion, privacy, quietness. We don't want it right in the heart of campus. This is a place to go and reflect.
The university tells us at this point there are no plans for a memorial on King Road, but the house will be torn down. The university has not set a date, saying those discussions will continue next semester. Kyle.
Of course they will, right? Phone call issues. What is this? Wow, Scott Reich doesn't think that Brian Koberger case is going to go to trial. Ooh, I can't wait to check that. We're going to watch Harsh Reality next year real quick and check.
Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all...
Something about the phone call issues or something. Let me get his handle there. And we'll get into the video. So here's this. Kaboom. And we'll throw that up there. Back to the video.
Well, on this marvelous Monday afternoon. Yes, that is correct. It's Monday afternoon.
Phone call
now
issues.
On video 3 of 4. Because we're having a video Monday video bonanza.
All this pizza
just
talk.
to get you through Mondays. Because I know Mondays are hard. Mondays are difficult. When you've just come off the back end, especially if you've come off the back end of days off or doing stuff, and it's all back into the humdrum of work. And look, some of you are amazing and you work during the weekend. So the weekends are just another day to you. Maybe Monday's your day off. If that's the case, then perhaps save a couple of these videos for another day when you need them. Or perhaps I'll just do 4 videos every day. If you want that, let me know down below and I'll see what I can do. But anyway, I'm talking about something very, very briefly. It's not going to be a long one because I see that this has been mentioned and it started gaining momentum, and I had to step in. And it is that people are turning around and saying now that Kaylee Gonsalves is. Now, I can't find anything that supports that.
What?
Now, I can't turn around and say that that wasn't said in one of these.
Is that what's going around right now? Is that she called 911? I never heard of that.
These podcasts on this platform. Someone had turned around, I think they'd turned around and said it was actually on Grizzly True Crime that this had been said. But I want to put it out clearly that I have spent probably 2 hours looking over every single thing I can to see whether there is anything that offers that little piece of information.
Pizza sounds so good.
And what I would say is there's any other creators, because we may have a difference of audience. So the likes of Jules, there might be people who support Jules that don't support.
So am I? Huh? I never. Oh, pizza! Look at that, D. Damn. Damn. Oh, yeah, for sure, Stardust. For sure. I mean, everything we talk is speculation, but there's some stuff is just like, whoa. We need some more evidence, yo. You know, out of respect for the families, you know what I'm saying? You need to have a little more evidence with certain things out of respect for the family. Because it is about the victims, number one, you know. We are in true crime, so there are, you know, but at the same time, we got to always have the family's respect, number one, you know. It's about the victims.
This channel, I would say, Jules, if you're watching, if you know what I'm talking about, it might be worth doing a video.
Well, you know, Kelly, I was actually having this conversation with somebody a little bit ago. And even the last few days, I gotta start working on that body cam deep dive. I have so many things saved for that body cam deep dive that I never even been able to get to. So that's one of the things that we're going to be doing coming up as well. Starting next week on Monday, during the daytime, we'll be doing daytime true crime, and we'll be getting into the body cam deep dive. So come on over. We're going to be going through it. And Kelly? Yeah, we're going to be looking at that too. And I'm going to be comparing it to sounds on the grub truck. So just give you guys a heads up. Yeah, we're going to be comparing it too.
And just letting people know, because they may have heard this, and that is, I cannot genuinely find, and maybe someone can, maybe someone like Jules can find that indeed that is the case. And Kaylee, it's been proven that Kaylee Gonsalves did indeed call 911 earlier on, but I can't find it. But what I can find is that Steve Gonsalves had spoken about the 911 call, and he had turned around and said that the 911 call was, I'll put it on screen, you can read it. That's the only thing that I can find that kind of connects the 911 call conversation with Kaylee's name and Steve Gonsalves talking about it and the unconscious person.
Yeah, I never heard it. Yeah.
So for those of you who are now going, oh, mind blown, Kaylee Gonsalves, he called 911 earlier on in the evening, and that changes absolutely everything. Absolutely everything. Everything I thought I knew has now come crashing down because it's all different. It's all changed. Yeah, I can't find it. And if you can find it, let me know. Email.
See what I'm saying? I was like, what? What are we talking about here? Yeah, what are we talking about here? All right. So I'm going to get into this Scott Reich video here. And we're going to... He doesn't think this is going to go to trial.
Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope...
All right, come on. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Come on, YouTube.
The Brian Kohberger case is not going to trial. Susan.
All right, hold on. We're just going to watch the Kohberger video. All right, hold on. Let's see. Where is it? 107.
Sam Morphew's body was found in an area that they referred to.
Ooh, we might listen to some of these other ones.
The Brian Kohberger case is not going to...
Hold on, Phantom. Let me thank you real quick. Thank you for being a member again. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Oh, pizza sounds so damn good.
Trial. Suzanne Morphew's body was found in an area that they referred to as the Boneyard. An arrest in the Tupac Shakur case, the YouTube prank gone bad, and then finally, our dumb criminal of the day. International version of Crime Talk. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Good day, everyone. My name is Scott Wright. This is Crime Talk, an international version.
Thank you.
That's
for
right. We are
member.
in, well, I don't know where we are exactly in Spain, but we spent the day in Sevilla, which was amazing. We put some pictures up on Facebook. Maybe Frank can put a couple of those up while we're talking. Beautiful city, lovely people, but man, was it hot. It's like 106 today.
Come on.
Usual. Let's get to the docket. Today is October 2nd, 2023. First in the news, Brian Kohberger. All right.
You don't think it's going to trial?
This thing's not going to trial. Okay. I thought that his attorneys, they were really trying to push this, try to see if they could force some errors by the prosecution. It simply didn't happen. The defense, Brian Kohberger, was forced to, which under Idaho law basically says, we'll get to it when your October trial date that we were all expecting didn't happen. Really didn't think it would. But let's get for real. This is a man charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder. He is facing a death penalty. A dance has to take place. All right? This is the dance. The prosecution is going to say, hey, look, overwhelming evidence. You have no good excuse for your client because he was supposedly driving around, which he likes to do a lot at night. And oh, by the way, we have this little thing called DNA on a knife sheath found under the victim at the residence that your client can't explain away. And the defense so far has been unable to explain it away. Perhaps
sorry about that,
one-armed man that Brian Kohberger gave a ride to took the knife sheath and the bar from his car. And defense is that there's DNA evidence, and the defense has to explain away the DNA. How did it get on that knife sheath?
Hold on a minute. There's issues with StreamYard. Let me back it up a little bit. I'm going to wait a second while it catches up or something. I don't know. Let's give it. Sorry if it was getting choppy there.
Who took the knife sheath and the K-bar from his car and then ultimately committed these horrendous crimes? I doubt it, but that's about where the defense is at this point. Let's face it, there's DNA evidence, and the defense has to explain away the DNA. How did it get on that knife sheath? I've done cold cases with DNA, and if you can't explain and have a legitimate reason as to why your client's DNA was there, particularly in a homicide case, you're going down, and you're going down hard.
Dang.
So, the
Dang.
Defense needs a little time to do what they can do. Of course, they're going to make a little money on the case as well. The prosecution is going to build up their case.
Okay.
Together it's like herding cats, and it's difficult. And then you got competing people. Some people want to.
Wow, come on. I'm just letting it catch up.
The death penalty, some don't. And eventually, some point, the defense is going to go have the conversation. And they're going to say, hey, we believe you, but we got this evidence and we got to face this evidence and not really sure how we're going to deal with it. But here's the DNA evidence and we can't explain it away. Maybe we should go talk to them about pleading guilty, life without parole in exchange to drop the death penalty. The defense attorney is going to be like, we're saving your life. We're saving your life. Who knows what Kohberger's doing? Who knows where he is? Oftentimes, defendants live in a state of denial. They don't believe anything. They don't trust anybody. Hard to believe, but defendants lie to their defense attorneys. And defense attorneys don't drink the Kool-Aid, ladies and gentlemen. They got that proverbial.
Come on, catch up. Jeez.
Come to Jesus conversation and say, hey, unless you can come up with a way to explain away why this DNA was there, we've got some real problems. Now, the defense can argue all day long and say, oh, this genealogy DNA stuff is used to establish cause. Then the government went and got a search warrant from the state to obtain through buccal swabs the DNA of Brian Kohberger, and it was tested. And guess what? It's a match to Brian Kohberger's DNA on that sheet. Tough case for the defense. And I'm telling you, this case, I think it's highly unlikely this case is ultimately going to go to trial. Don't get me wrong. I would think it would be great if it would go to trial, but it's not. That's my prediction. I guess we'll have to wait and see if I am correct or incorrect in the future. Let me know. Do you think this thing will actually go to trial? I doubt it. Next.
Do you think it'll go to trial? I'm going to put up a poll. Hold on a minute. Give me a second. I'm going to pull this up. Let me put a poll up. I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say. Let me see. I want to hear what you guys have to say. I'm interested. Do you think Kohberger, let's pin that. Oh, I can't pin it. I'm wondering. We're going to let that thing play all night. All right, so I'm going to save the other stuff for tomorrow. Let me see here. He goes into Susan. Yeah, we're going to go into the Tupac stuff tomorrow. Susan will go into that on another episode. Let's just hear about it just in case. Hold on. Let's listen to the Susan one.
On the docket, Suzanne Morphew. Now, there's an article out there saying that Suzanne Morphew's body was dumped in a remote Colorado area known as the Boneyard. Was found prior. Nevertheless, is this going to the train station in Yellowstone? I lived in Colorado.
Why are you slowing down? Sorry.
where apparently a young aspiring Marine
Jeez,
was
what is
found
that?
some months prior. In Yellowstone, I lived in Colorado all my life, other than, brief stint in the military. So I'm not really sure, never heard of obviously Suzanne Morphy was dumped in a remote area that some people are referring to as the boneyard.
We're just gonna let it catch up for a minute. We're just gonna let it catch up. And then maybe it won't get so choppy. Yoli, I'll send you an invite to email if you want to join. You're more than welcome. We'll just let StreamYard catch up real quick. There's one if you want it, Yoli.
Because there was a body found earlier this year and another woman went missing back in May. So, of course, this area, it's near Moffett, Colorado, and they were searching for Edna Quintana, who went missing early May, and they've also found the remains of a young Marine or young guy that was going to go into the Marines by the name of James Montoya. So this particular area, some people seem to think it's a good place to go. Really, that's part of Colorado, like Idaho. Just pick a spot. Not saying road, go.
We're just gonna get into that. We're just gonna get into that when we talk Suzanne Morphew coming up in the future. All right, so we're gonna switch back. I wanted to watch this about the Aladi. Yeah, how were some people cleared? We've already went through that. Let me see here. Banfield footage. So let's see what Harsh has to say about that. Like I said, Monday, finally, because I've been wanting to do it for, gosh, when did we go through the grub truck? You're good, Yola. I emailed it to you. When did we go through the grub truck? It was so long ago. Back then, I was going to be going through the body cam, so I'm interested to hear what Harsh has to say about this one and this other one. We talked about the whole hex thing a long time ago too. I'm kind of interested to hear what Scott's got a response to the video, I suppose. But this is a Banfield footage, and then let's talk hex. We talked hex before. Now, Crime Curious, would you guys want to watch that one? Yeah, it's like 2 months ago. Yeah, the grub truck days. Yeah, back then I was wanting to do the body cam because the body cam goes with the grub truck. The deep dive that I'm doing, I did the grub truck deep dive, so then I could use it for the body cam deep dive. So. We can't do the rewatch on the grub truck deep dive, but I do have all my notes for each time, and then we're going to kind of blend them in together because we're going to be comparing the vehicle sounds that took place at the grub truck compared to the vehicle sounds that took place over there by Linden Lane and the body cam. So we're going to be comparing how long it takes to go from one location to the next, see if we hear the similar vehicles. Because I'm wondering if this vehicle was circling, going from and to and from and to. A lot of interesting sounds that took place. So I want to compare it. get it down to whatever vehicles we both hear on the body cam, the vehicles that are driving by in the body cam, compared to the grub truck. I think it's kind of tied in together. I don't know. All right, so this is the Banfield footage. What is this?
Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well on this terrific Tuesday. That's it, baby. It's terrific Tuesday. And do you know what else is terrific? You look terrific. You are terrific. And together, we're going to have a day of 2 videos. This is video 1 of 2. I couldn't do 4. I wish I had the stamina for it, but I'm just not 21 anymore. I'm 43. Yeah, 43 years old. 43 years young. And yeah, just ain't got 4 in me anymore. But maybe tomorrow. Who knows? I'll rest up a bit, limber up, do some squats, and I'll be back in business tomorrow. But we've got 2 videos. This video is going to be one that has been requested by hundreds of people for a long time. And I just didn't want to do it too soon because there was just too much resting on it. And that is my thoughts and feelings about the Banfield situation. And you might be surprised at my feelings on it. And then later on today, in video 2, we're going to be touching on the hex situation, the boom that was yesterday to that. Like I say, video 2. So let's crack on. Let's get on because it's terrific.
And we did, man, when did we go through that? Because we went through, because if you remember back in, I think it was December, Steve did an interview with that hat. And we started looking it up and we kind of saw that there was a lot of different accounts and such. And then probably, when was it? 4, 5? Five or 6 months ago, actually, I'm thinking 5 or 6 months ago, actually, we had a show about it. And then we went on another channel and continued the show even deeper after that. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting topic. I am going to watch Crime Circus's video when it comes to the whole hex thing.
Dude, we've got shit to do.
We got shit to do.
We've got to move on.
That's right. Got shit to do.
So, Banfield. So, there is a lot in that video. There is a lot. But it's making your mind up whether there's a whole lot or a whole lot of nothing. And I
don't know. We might have to start the body cam deep dive on Saturday. Let me know what you think about that.
In this video by just saying my conclusion is there's a whole lot of nothing. But the truth is, there's a whole lot of nothing, in my opinion, that looks like a whole lot.
Right.
What do I mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
Harsh.
Yeah, go ahead.
So look, what we've got to think is we're quite highly emotional people. We get into a case like the Idaho 4 and we look at everything. We pull everything apart. We've got opinions on everything. We'll go online, we'll look at the victims' families, we'll pull things apart and we're looking for answers because we can't help it. It's our nature to hunt and seek and get answers. And for those people who criticize us for doing such a thing, I don't really get them, people, because they're criticizing people for their natural instincts to basically be nosy, because that's what it is. We're nosy people. we see a situation. It's like I've mentioned in videos previously about, if we're driving down the road and we know there's an accident on our right-hand side here in England, we would rubberneck it. We would look to see, and that's what kind of people we are. We're not the sort of people who are like, oh, there's been an accident, let's not look. We rubberneck it. And that's basically what true crime is about. And whether people want to admit it or not, it is. It's about rubbernecking what's happened. See.
To me, the true crime, and I'm just speaking for myself. I actually do it because it's about the victims. I imagine it, putting myself in somebody else's shoes, and that could possibly be my sister, my my brother, my mother, my dad, my grandpa, my cousin. It could definitely be anybody. So I don't. I'm not. There's certain cases we don't even go into the extra graphic stuff. It's not rubbernecking. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, definitely when I'm driving by or something, I'm rubbernecking, but I don't consider this rubbernecking.
No, I don't either.
I think about the victims.
I'm interested in the mind and why people do crimes.
Yeah.
And I'm also interested in the victims and how it affects not just the victims, but the people surrounding the victims. I mean, it's like a domino effect. And that's why when I was chatting on Discord about the Moscow Police Department still having a tip line, despite the fact that they have somebody arrested for the murder. And I was saying that should not make the people of Moscow, Idaho feel safe.
Feel comfortable, yeah. Why would you have a tip line up,
Yeah, and the wording is that they want tips to provide the context in which it occurred. Okay, that's what we've been talking about. I mean, it's the context is there, but you're just not looking at it. They're not looking at it. And they have on their Moscow Police Department website, they also have a tip line for information, and then they have an information section where they have links, and one of the links they have is people who are not connected to this crime, and then it lists the people who are not connected. So please don't call if you have tips on these people.
Ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy?
I've never heard of such a thing.
I've never heard of such a thing either, Yelly. Honestly.
I mean, that's insane.
It is, for sure.
They list all the people who've been cleared. Well, they haven't been cleared forever. I mean, what if something comes up that implicates them?
And why do you need a tip line? Because
you
need more information? That's why you have it, right? Because you need more information.
Well, just be honest and say that they think other people are involved.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it has to.
That's stupid.
Where'd you send it, Caddy? Where'd you send that, Caddy? Let's see here. Let me see. Of course, it's speculation. I mean, we know that she had a lot of bank accounts, but who knows why? I mean, we all don't know why. All right, so let's see here. I'm going to watch that Crime Circus episode too about that hex stuff.
See a situation, and we want to know all the info. We want to know the ins and outs of it. We have a natural curiosity to the nastiness, the macabre. It is what it is. I have had an interest in true crime and murderers and the Dharma and Bundy and BTK and the like since I was young, and it is what it is. Some people who also have their hearts into it, and when they see crimes like this, it breaks their heart. They want justice, and when they see things going in a certain direction or things not perhaps working in a way that they feel it should, they get upset about it. But anyway, we're on this hunt. We're constantly on this hunt for answers. We're on this hunt for clues, and especially when you're in a situation like the Idaho 4, where not a lot of information has been passed over to the public. And some people agree with that and say it's a good thing. Some people say it's a bad thing. The majority of people who say it's a bad thing, again, are for the aforementioned reasons that they're nosy and they want to know. And sometimes it's just not appropriate for the public to know, however frustrating that is. But there are limitations to that. And I do feel in transparency and in certain cases that certain things should be known. If they don't put somebody's life in danger, then that is information that should be made public in the, for transparency reasons. So at the end of everything, that the system has worked has been crime, and this can be laid to rest. Because if, as things stand at the moment in the Idaho 4 case, if it stays this sort of behind closed doors situation, and with so many things floating about on the peripheral, even with a conclusion, depending on what that conclusion is, there's going to be a lot of unhappy people. There's going to be a lot of people who feel that justice has not really been served. Anyway, I digress. Banfield, back to the Banfield, back to the grass. What do I see? I see tragedy. Because in reality, what you have is life going on as normal. Life going on as normal. You've got Moscow PD doing something that they did. They were off campus, and they were monitoring the use of alcohol on the area by minors, and they would go into the colleges and they would do talks specifically on alcohol consumption out in the public, and what they would be or how they would be punished. The reality is kids are kids, and kids are fucking idiots, and that's a fact. I was an idiot. You were an idiot. We were all idiots at some point. Some people say that Harsh is still an idiot, and for those people... But anyway, I digress. So yeah, I see a tragedy because I see life going on as normal. Now, there are elements to this that you can look at and you can pull it apart. You can overemphasize different things, like the bushy eyebrows on at least one of them. You could genuinely say that kid had bushy eyebrows. If you had Brian Koberger and that kid standing side by side, Brian Koberger would not be the kid with bushy eyebrows.
That's my deep dive thumbnail. To
me, in my personal opinion, is not the kid who done this crime or had anything to do with this crime. Now, could I be wrong? Yeah, of course I could. When we know people like Paris Bennett who killed, you look at Paris Bennett and then look at this kid and think who's more likely to be a killer. You couldn't really pick one between them, but it is what it is. We can look at how we feel the Idaho 4 crime actually happened, what it was about, and then we can look at these people on this Banfield and think, do these drips genuinely look like the kind of people who could have done this crime? And are there any clues in this video that would suggest that they did? And I have looked at this video. I have watched it and watched it and watched it and watched it and watched it. And I cannot see anything in this video that would convince me that anybody in here could have done this crime. And I would go as far, and this is going to split the room, I would go as far as to say, what do I feel would be more likely, these kids on this field or Brian Koberger to be the person who did the crime? And I would have to say Brian Koberger would be my pick over the Banfield people and Brian Koberger. And I know that I've always said about, innocent until proven guilty. And this is still standing by that. But my thoughts and feelings are there was an intricacy to this crime. There was a complexity to it that would have to have been completed by somebody who was able to do it. We've got things that don't make sense in this crime, such as noise factor, time factor. Yes, there was a complete and utter abysmal mistake potentially in the knife sheath if we believe Brian Koberger is the person who done it, because ultimately he left a knife sheath there, what would be the only thing that would connect him to this crime. But then you have to then accept, if he's the person who done it, there is an element of brilliance to it. And sadly for him, the knife sheath just was a curveball that hung him. And maybe it was just the golden goose that laid the egg. Do you know what I mean? Who knows? And the courts will hopefully do their job. But this bunch of kids at this Banfield, walking across in their jeans halfway pulled down their asses with their baseball caps on, and their shirts half open, looking like a busted reject band. You know, it's they're not, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. I was the same. You know, we always thought we dressed cool, didn't we? It's not until we look back and we look at what we dressed like and think, fuck it now. But like I say, in terms of the Banfield, why I haven't done it, why I haven't said anything, is because it took me a long time to go over this video and make sure that every single thing that I say now is true and it's honest, and the dust has had time to settle. And everybody else has had their opinion. Everybody else has pulled it to pieces, so I can then go and look at these specific things that people are pulling out and saying, look. And like I say, my conclusion is this is a tragedy. This is a tragedy unfolding because just feet away from this very, very normal situation where these kids are getting pulled over for something that they knew they shouldn't have been doing, they reacted no different than any teenager, young adult would have reacted, how we have reacted. And I'm sure that some of you in the audience have reacted as well. It is just what people do. And, you know, I can't see it. And again, the tragedy of it is this normal situation that we can trawl over and pull apart and look for things and feel that we've found things because we're looking so hard and we want so much to find something. But the answers for what happened in 1122 King Road, in my opinion, will never be found on the Banfield. This happened at 1122 King Road. There was a personable feeling to it. There was something going on around this house. There was something that happened. There's something that connects someone to that house. Something. And, you know, maybe this hex situation is another thing to genuinely look at. And you know, there's so many things that can happen before you then can't ignore that. Somewhere amongst all of this stuff is an alibi. Not an alibi, a motive. There is a motive in here somewhere. Thinking alibis. Brian's alibi, Jack's alibi, Spy for Members alibi. Alibis. Talked on that yesterday. If you didn't see it, go and watch it now. And wait for video 2, which is going to be coming very soon to a video near you. God, I'm getting good at rhyming. I'll catch you all in the next one.
Whoa, don't play it.
Well, hello there. How is...
Don't play it. Holy crap. All right. Actually, Stardust, when it came to, what is it doing? When it came to the ladder and the footprints, I was bringing that up as soon as the case came out, because you didn't see. Think about it. The first couple weeks that they were there, did you ever see them one time check the roof or the ladder? Never once. And there was cameras out there like crazy. You never saw anybody out on that little roof ledge right there. I mean, hello. The second bedroom door was kind of blocked. And then you don't know how they exited the property? It just makes sense. When I seen that damn ladder right away, I was like, who said? People thought I was freaking crazy back then. You can go watch the episodes when I'm talking about it. I'm like, what about this ladder? I'm sitting there comparing the height to the vehicles parked next to it. I'm like, I could jump down there and not get hurt from that little roof there. You can either go down or up that ladder, or you can jump down from the little roof and land on the gravel. You're good. You know? And when I was bringing it up back then, people thought I was freaking stretching. They thought I was nuts. Like, come on. It makes sense. All right, I'm going to share this real quick. Thank you, Caddy. I appreciate that. Let me see here. What's up, Randy? Thank you for hopping in. Hope you're doing better. Let me see here. It had to be, right, Jeremiah? Like, seriously, they thought I was a fucking nutball back then. They're like, you're out of your freaking mind. I'm like, what do you mean? Seriously. You don't know how the person exited. You never saw LE get on that roof or even be around that damn ladder. They used the ladder to tie the police tape to block off the scene, you know?
I mean, there's a
Like,
ladder. That ladder is
right.
to go
Like,
up
boom.
to one of the rooms where one of the where two
Right.
victims were killed. Like
Boom.
you and they just bypassed that. Why? Probably because they already knew certain things.
Because they thought it was an unalive self-unalive situation. So it was like, why do we
Yeah, but
need to
that
check the
changed.
freaking ladder? Yeah,
That
by that point they lost focus of the ladder. They had already used it to block off the crime scene, Yoli. It was part of blocking off the crime scene at that point. They didn't need to check it. They didn't need to check it. They didn't even need to wear booties. Okay?
No, because they already knew what
No.
happened.
They didn't even need
In
to
my
wear
opinion.
booties. Didn't even need to. This thank you, Caddy, for this. This is right here. Crime tips.
Yes.
Right? King Road.
Look at the whole thing. Yeah.
Detectives are looking for context to the events and people involved in these unalive.
Context. What does
To
that mean? I want to call the hotline and say, okay, I'm a resident of Moscow and I'm concerned because it seems that you have the suspect in custody, but yet you're still asking for tips and you want context as to how this occurred. What do you mean by context? I'm like, I wish a resident would call and say that. Like, what do you mean by context? Are we in danger? Is there something more that you're not telling us?
Is there a
There is.
resident that would like to call? I mean,
I'm pleading to the residents of Moscow, Idaho to call and say, look, are we in danger? What's going on here? We have a bunch of college kids. If I sent my college kid there or somebody who sent their college kid there, call and say, why? Why do you have this? And what does it mean by context? Is there something going on where if I send my child to Idaho University that they're going to be in danger? Please tell me. That's what I want to know.
right on.
And I would call, well, nobody should call until it's very well thought out. No, I mean, I'm just saying that if the residents of Moscow are concerned about what happened and about the fact that there's still a tip line and that the authorities are looking for context as to how it happened, well, context, tell us what you mean. Because maybe the residents do have some information.
Right.
But somebody who's sending their kids there, context, like it's in the context of a university city. That's what it is. 2 universities. I mean, that's the context.
The Johnny Manziel, you know, the
The
money.
fraternities and sororities, that's the context.
Shout out Johnny.
Well, how about somebody who's sending their kids there? Maybe they should be concerned.
Of course.
I would if I had a kid, or if my godsons were going there, I'd be on the fucking phone and I'd be saying, why do you still have this tip line? What is the context that you're looking for? And are my
Right.
kids safe? That's what I would be doing.
Exactly. Especially if you're right. Because it's damn true. Why? What and you make
if
every
you look-
point you make is 100.
And if you look at the website, it even gets crazier. I'll stop talking now.
Oh, you're good. No, keep talking.
I just get upset.
Let me shout out to Caddy again. Here's the link for that.
Yeah, Caddy and I were talking about this.
So here's the link for that if you'd like to check it yourself. And it is a good question. Oh, look at that. I matched the banner. Sweet. All right. How do I get rid of this cover here? All right. It says right here, right at the top. There's the tips. News releases, everything associated with it. Look at that. Look at that. What a link. Thank you, Caddy, for sharing that with us. Appreciate that. It's got it all. Yeah, I would like to. What's up, Jacqueline? I would like to go into the coroner's stuff again. That's another thing I wanted to do a long time ago that I never really got to.
Yeah, and in that
start
on
the
that
deep
website,
dive of
on that
the
website, I
body
think it
cam.
also has who's not involved.
Let me see here. Where's it at?
I don't know. I saw it. You don't have to. I think it's on the information.
Stock photo. It's got the stock. Let me see here. Contact. Let's see. Update.
If you go all the way down.
Update. Press conference. All the way down?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I saw it somewhere. Oh, wait. Oh, that's the summary. Yeah. Frequently asked questions.
Where's that at? Where's frequently asked questions at?
I don't know. Don't worry
Rumor
about
control.
it. Oh, maybe rumor control?
Are there any suspects who is not? Here we go. Who is
There it is.
not believed to be involved? Right there. Okay. Okay.
So call in for
under
tips,
frequently asked questions.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So call in for
ahead.
tips if you have them, but these are the people who are not believed to be involved. So essentially, if you have tips about these people, they're not believed to be involved, so don't call.
Yeah. So frequently asked questions, and then click on who is not believed to be involved. 2 surviving roommates, male in the grub truck surveillance video, private party driver who took Kaylee and Madison home. The male Kaylee and Madison called numerous times during the early morning hours on November 13th. Any individual at the residence when 911 was called. Wow. Wow. The individual on the lease who moved out of the residence before the school year started was not present at the time of the incident. The male or his friend who was thought to be a possible stalker and followed Kaylee into the parking lot of a local business in October 2021, and the female associate. Well, we heard about the TikTok thing. Let me click on it. It's not letting me click on it. Oh, okay. So, yeah. It's not letting you click on it.
It's the most absurd thing I've ever seen.
Oh, shoot. It stopped sharing. Dang it. Hold on. So, there you go. They're still looking. Still looking.
Yeah, it's
They
sad.
found him. Who knows when the trial's going to happen, right? According to Scott Reich, it's not. Please hit the like if you haven't yet. It's the free way to help.
I think Scott Reich is just eliciting an argument.
Yeah. I want to check the poll.
Yeah.
I want to see what the poll says. Are you on your computer?
No, I'm on my phone.
No? Are you? Okay.
But I'm chatting on my computer.
65-35 think it'll go to trial. Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, how weird to make a list of people cleared with no names, just strange descriptors. It's just
no name.
The male who did this. Well, how do we know who the fuck he is? I'm sorry.
Right? The male, and you don't even get to click on the link, you know? All right, let me see here. Let's watch that Crime Circus video about. Let's see. Where is it? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? What? Is it not up anymore?
No, it should be up.
Is it not up? Hold on a minute. Let me check some other. Oh, it's on the other one? Okay. I was going to say, I was like, there it is. Yes, from 3 days ago. All right, here we go. So we're going to watch this episode, Crime Circus. I've been wanting to watch this too. I'm so glad we're back on Idaho 4 because I've missed it. Talking about it all with you guys. All right, so Crime Circus. We'll get ready to watch this here.
Okay.
Oh. Come on. There we go. Boogie. One second. What's Ubermentia? How you doing? You just watched it today? What I like to do, thank you for hopping in. What I like to do is I like to wait and watch it with you guys, kind of like, you know, like fresh. You get the fresh reaction there. All right, so let's fix the cameras here and then we'll get into this episode. Thank you all for hanging out. And we got plenty more to go. I've missed you guys so much.
In this episode, we're going to discuss the mysterious cowboys and the cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme. There might just be a wild connection to the Moscow, Idaho case. And where there's smoke, there's fire. And where there's fire, there's booms. So stay tuned and let's see what I have to say for myself this time. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Crime Circus Cult. My name's Jerp Drop, and I'll be your host as always. First and foremost, I want to thank every single one of you for leaving very nice comments on my last Cult of Odin video. All of the prayers and well wishes and everything. I read every single comment, thousands and thousands of them. I can't reply to everyone, but I do appreciate you and I do read them. Thank you. Somebody even told me that they had a vision and that I really was in danger. And somebody even gave me this, and they said,
yeah, for real. I mean, if you guys were with me when I went to Delphi, as soon as I put the notification up, I was already getting messages and warnings. I was like, whoa. and then before I got there, this is no joke. It's no joke.
It would help keep me safe. So we'll see if it protects me or not. With everybody's good energy out there that you sent towards me, I do feel more protected now than I was last week.
For real.
Yeah.
No joke.
Now, let's talk about the Cowboys, and then we'll have a discussion about the cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme. We'll see if I've uncovered any connections that others may have overlooked. I actually spend nearly every single waking moment of my life researching this case, because I care about the victims, and the victims need justice, and
100.
the victims' families need justice.
100.
They really do. I showed you these cowboys previously, and some of you recognized that they may have seen some of these cowboys previously. Let's check out this news clip here and see what we think about it.
5 plainclothes investigators, we don't know if they're local, state, federal, they were inside, and we saw a lot of activity inside the home.
And they even came out during nighttime one time too, and it was so freaking hilarious because if you remember the clip where they were walking outside, the guy that was getting in the side door of the van didn't realize that when you pull on the handle, the van door automatically opens on its own. And this guy was like fighting with the door handle of the automatic, tried to hurry up and get in. That shit was hilarious. If anybody remembers that from back then, shit was. Hopefully they play it here because that shit was funny. Dude,
and the home was lit up.
trying to
So
hurry up and
we
get the van,
saw
fucking it up.
those men inside the home in the two particular rooms
Show it,
where the
please.
murders took
Please.
place. We did not see
Here it
them
is. Come on.
leaving with any
Yes, come on.
materials. I asked them a couple of times, why
Yes,
are they back?
right there, look.
They did not answer me. They pulled away. I watched tonight. They did not acknowledge me. So
Yes, thank you, Crime Circus. Oh, see, I told you guys I watched this shit a long time ago. My mind's a fucking Rolodex. Watch
That's
this.
those
pretty
men
funny. I know.
inside the home
Oh,
in
that shit was hilarious. He got
rooms,
squeezed in the door
where
because
the murders took
Oh,
place.
Look at
that's
them.
We
hilarious.
did not see them leave with
They have
any
gloves.
materials. I
Watch
asked
him
them
get stuck.
a couple of times, why are they back? They did not answer
Jiggle,
me.
jiggle,
They
jiggle, jiggle,
pulled
jiggle.
away.
Oh, shit,
Why are
shit,
you here
shit,
tonight?
shit.
They did not acknowledge me. So certainly they
Oh,
were
yeah.
on a mission and they left
Thank you,
without saying a
Crime
word.
Circus.
Were those the same cowboys or different cowboys? I don't
Oh,
know,
shit.
but let's have another look.
Oh, I love it. Show it again. Hell yeah. Thank you. Do it. He gets stuck. Jiggle, 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 jiggle.
Did any of you notice anything that stuck
Oh,
out
we
in
should
that
have
video
played.
clip that I just showed you?
Yeah, the guy trying to
I'm certain some of you are
like a little mouse trying to fit through a freaking hole because it's about to get eaten by a cat, you know? Like just trying to squeeze
super
through.
observant and noticed what I noticed. Let's play this video again and see what we see.
He's got to show it again. This shit's hilarious. Oh, I needed this today. I needed this today. Oh, come on. Yeah.
Boom. Right there. Do you see what I see? Now let's slow this video down and zoom in a little and see what we see here. Do you see it now?
What?
What is he concealing? What's in his hand? Is this something he's taken from the house that he's disguising from the news cameras? Or is this the packaging from something he planted within the house? Yeah.
Right,
Something's
it could be a
going on here
phone.
because something's in his hand that he's
could be a phone.
concealing. I don't know
What's
one
up,
way or the
Devin? What's
other,
up, Grizz?
but all I know is this is a red flag. And they're all
This
hiding
could
their
be a phone.
faces and acting super sus, if you ask us. So what do you think was in that cowboy's hand? We could partially see something. So it's either something he took out of the house or it's the packaging of something that he dropped off in the house. We don't know. But we'd really like to know. Did any of you observant folks out there notice anything else? Let's take another
Yeah,
look
the guy trying
and
to
take our
squeeze through
eyes
the
to
door
another
that
portion of the
was
video.
automatic.
Do you
He
see
could-
his front right pocket?
What?
Yeah. Something in his front right pocket is huge.
A gun?
And don't tell me it's his privates.
A gun?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is serious.
What? What's that?
I need your help investigating this because something's in his pocket. And I've had my pockets pretty filled up before, but nothing like what I'm seeing on this video right here. Let's watch it again. We need to use our minds together and figure out what's in his pocket. If you think you know, leave me a comment down below because it certainly has an odd shape.
Honestly, it looks like his phone is in his back left pocket. Wallet. Look at this. Hold on. It looks like a phone is in his back left pocket. Wallet in back
Together
right.
and figure out what's in his pocket. If you think you know,
See, that looks like a wallet and it's worn. Like normally, like where a wallet would be worn on your back pocket, you know, if you consistently wear your wallet in the same spot, it's going to have that faded area because it's worn out more because you're sitting down and shit, right? It looks like a phone is in his back left pocket. So right, I know. I'm gonna get to the front pocket in a second. I'm talking about the back pockets first because he's not even talking about it. I am. At first, I thought, yeah, phone in the left hand, but now that I'm looking at this shot, I'm thinking phone's in back left pocket, wallet in back right. What the hell's in the hand?
Leave me a comment down below, because it certainly has an odd shape, and I don't typically see people's pockets shaped like that. Maybe
Would a hold on a minute? Would a sheath look like that? Would a sheath? Would a hold on a minute? Is that a frickin' knife in the left hand and a sheath in the pocket? Whoa, hold on a minute. Tell me if I don't know what I haven't watched this yet, so maybe this is what he's coming out with his boom. Phone back left pocket, wallet back right pocket. Could it be the frickin' knife in the left hand where you see the butt end of the bottom of the knife coming out the back of the hand? And is it the sheath in the front right pocket?
because something's in his pocket. And I've had my pockets pretty filled up before, but nothing like what I'm seeing on this video right here.
Like a
Let's watch it again. We need to use our minds to.
I don't know. It's at least 2 inches to 3 inches big in his left hand, whatever that thing is. Because his fingers aren't. So it's got to be 2 or 3 inches because his fingers aren't covering the whole thing that he's holding in his hand. That's why you see the outline. So it's got to be at least 3 inches. I don't know about the
together and figure out what's in his pocket.
I mean, I thought a gun. I've carried a gun in my pocket before.
If you think you know, leave me a comment down below, because it certainly has an odd shape, and I don't typically see people's pockets.
I think it looks like a pistol myself. I think it is probably a pistol.
Shaped like that. Maybe not a boom, but it's a red flag. Something's in there, and we need to know what it is. We really do, because these people wouldn't even tell the news reporter who they were or what they were doing there.
Yeah, they were inside. They seemed to be targeted in where they were going and what they were doing, and then they left without a word.
And as far as I know, none of these people were seen at the crime scene before or after this one night in Moscow. And what's up with all these cowboys cramming into that little minivan? Don't you think they should have been on horses or maybe big trucks? I really don't know, but it's sus to us. It really is, because why didn't they bring proper investigative tools? Why were they going there so late at night? Why didn't they have proper evidence packaging with them? There's actually a lot of questions to ask about these mysterious individuals that entered the house and exited the house, and nobody's given anybody any explanation or answers on what they were doing.
That's what I thought too, Jeremiah. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. It's definitely freaking odd. I always just laughed at the guy squirming to get in the damn back door, but the zoom in was definitely interesting. Rhinestone Cowboys.
And for anybody out there that might be wondering, this video was taken approximately 3 weeks after the crime, and no arrests have been made yet. In fact, I do believe this was approximately 2.5 days after the DoorDash search warrant. So about 2 days after they told us to look for a white Hyundai Elantra that was the...
Whoa, hold on. The ones that don't get in the van. What? How many of it? What's up, Katrina? How many, whoa, hold on a minute. How many were walking out? I thought it was just 4, wasn't it? I thought it was just 4. How many was there? I'd have to look again. I could have swore there was just 4. Talk to me, Brandywine. Talk to me. Two of them. In front of the van, there's another vehicle. Oh, okay. There we go. Rewind back a bit. Well, let me. Here, let me finish this video and then we'll go back. Fuck it. Let's go. Let's see. Right. We're at 6:16 right now.
Federal, they were inside, and we saw a lot of activity inside the home, and the home was lit up. So we saw those men inside the home in the two particular rooms where the murders took place. We did not see them leaving with any materials. I asked them a couple of times, why are they back? They did not answer me. They pulled away. Why are you here tonight?
That's the noise it makes
they
when
did
you're
not
trying to
acknowledge
do
me.
that.
So certainly they were on a mission.
Oh, it's great.
And they left without saying a word.
Were those the same cowboys or different cowboys? I don't know, but let's have another look.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. So there's 4 guys. Oh. Was he the lookout? He was standing at the back of the vehicle. What was he, like the lookout or something? Damn, I need to... Let me take a screenshot of that. That's interesting. Let me save that to my case folder real quick. That's an interesting shot there. All right, let me go back to the video 6:10, and I'll go ahead and do this in the back.
Search warrant. So about 2 days after they told us to look for a white Hyundai Elantra that was the wrong year.
Moscow police have released the first potentially significant information regarding evidence connected in this case. Creme 2's Mark Hanrahan joining us live here in the studio with new information tonight. Mark?
Whitney, let's get right to it. Take a look at these photos behind me right here. Moscow PD saying today they're now looking for a white 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. Police say tips and leads to look at additional information about the car being in the immediate area of King Street, where the murders happened during the early morning hours of November 13th.
Certainly another coincidence, right? There's a lot of coincidences in this case, and we're going to look into every single one of them. It's just what a proper investigation does. And we're all researching this on the internet because we're internet detectives. We look for the clues and we piece them together one by one. And at the end, hopefully all the clues fit together perfectly, so we get a crystal clear picture of exactly who committed this crime and why they committed this crime. Looking towards Brian Kohberger, none of the puzzle pieces are really fitting. It appears they're trying to make the puzzle pieces fit after the arrest. I even saw that they very recently are still trying to find out information on Brian Kohberger's search history on Amazon, etc. So apparently they don't have any actual smoking gun. They don't have any actual real evidence. They're looking for clicks. Did Brian Kohberger possibly click on something on Amazon? They've already got his order history. They know he didn't order anything on Amazon. So, yeah. Did you order? No. But did you click? Even the doubters, the ones that think Brian Kohberger is actually guilty of this crime, you know that's suspicious. Isn't it a little late in the investigation to be looking for clicks on Amazon.com? I think so. What do you think? Let me know down below. Type me anything you want to let me know. I will read your comment. Anyways, moving right along, let's talk about cryptocurrency. But drip drop, what does cryptocurrency have to do with the Idaho 4? Bear with me. We'll get to it. I've connected some dots. Check this out. I'm sure many of you are familiar or have heard about Bitcoin. It's a digital fantasy currency coin, and it has a little-known third cousin known as Hexcoin, H-E-X. Not too many people have actually heard about this little red-headed stepchild bastard of a coin, but now you have. And we're going to talk about Hex. According to all the things that I'm reading on the internet, Hex cryptocurrency is a Ponzi scheme, a scam. It's basically a fantasy where people think they're investing their money and then they end up getting ripped off, and the people behind the scenes, they make all the money. Let's discuss what we're seeing here, because we can't lie to ourselves about what our eyes are actually seeing. A lot of information is within the court documents, and if you just read the court documents, it clears up a lot of information and a lot of questions, and that's what I do. I study the court documents so you don't have to. And I study the crime scene, and I study the news reports, and I read every single detail. Kaylee's dad, Steve, can be seen wearing a Hex cryptocurrency hat in multiple interviews. It actually looks like a brand new hat that he had just bought specifically for the interviews. I do think that's an odd choice of dress apparel considering the situation at hand. It's not like you can just walk into your local Walmart or Target and purchase the Hex coin hat. No, you have to go to a special internet website, possibly Amazon, click some buttons, and have that hat sent to your house. And most people have never heard of Hex, so you have to know exactly what you're looking for. Also, interestingly enough, at the time he was wearing this, it was already well known on the internet that the man that created Hex was scamming people. It was a well-known scam. So that's a bit alarming because it only took me about 5 to 10 seconds of Google searching to find out the Hex coin is a scam.
Exactly. That's why when he first wore that hat in that news interview, we were like, what the hell is Hex? So we started looking it up and we were like, whoa, there's no way. There's no way. I'm serious. Like Drip Drop just said, Google search it. Like that's all we did back then. All we did was Google search it. And you can see it, no lie. Yeah, right, Brandywine? Yeah, this was like, gosh, what, December? It had to be December when he did that interview. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy.
So I actually found out it was a scam in a shorter amount of time than it would have actually taken to order that hat. So let's go a little further down this rabbit hole. I looked into Hex. I read some articles. I found out that the owner is from South Florida. And this guy even had the nerve to buy the world's biggest black diamond with his stolen money that he ripped off from investors. Shame, shame. And as I was looking into Hex, which is currently being sued by the SEC, I came across Flavio Goncalves. Same last name as Kaylee, same last name as Steve. And Flavio Goncalves was recently arrested in South Florida for a huge cryptocurrency scheme. He was scamming people. He scammed a lot of people. So I thought to myself, I wonder if there's any connection. Steve Goncalves is wearing a cryptocurrency hat that links back to a scam in South Florida. Flavio Goncalves was arrested in South Florida for another cryptocurrency scam. Yeah. Boom. Do you see the connection? I'm not even saying there is a connection because this is someone else's fantasy. Not mine and not yours. We're just guessing and observing the things we're seeing on the internet. Yeah. So check out these two guys side by side. Steve on the left, Flavio on the right. Could they be relatives? Maybe cousins? Do they even know each other? We don't know. But we need to know. I don't have a family tree for the G family. But if I did, do you think they'd both be on it? Maybe they don't even know each other. Maybe they've never even heard of each other. Maybe it's just another coincidence. We'd just be guessing on who Steve G knows. But do know, according to these news articles, both of these cryptocurrencies ripped off tens of millions of dollars from people that invested their hard-earned money. And I've even been told that the cartel likes to invest their money in cryptocurrencies because it's harder to track. Apparently, they like to use the cryptocurrencies as some sort of money laundering thing on the internet. Yeah. Apparently, somehow, they can make dirty money clean money. I don't know all the deets. Maybe one of you does. So, back to my point. Flavio and Hex, both from South Florida, ripped off tens of millions of dollars from a lot of people. Is that tens of millions of reasons to send a message to the G family? Is that tens of millions of reasons to commit this crime in Moscow, Idaho against Kaylee and her roommates? In Steve's interview, he said he wanted law enforcement to step up and do something. He said he didn't want to have to be the one to do this, and he didn't want to have to be the one to say some things that he was going to say. He told people in law enforcement that somebody needed to be the alpha and step up.
Stop playing games, guys. I need somebody to step up and be an alpha, to be somebody, to be a leader. Don't make me do it. I don't want to do it.
Steve G wants justice for his daughter. There's no doubt about that. And I think Steve G knows a lot of dark happenings behind the scenes, because unfortunately that is what this world is filled with. I mean, come on, his own brother is serving 20 years in prison for passing away a man who's a relative of somebody that is associated with the cult of Odin. And the cult of Odin is super dangerous, and they're super serious, and they're super real. The cult of Odin is not just some fantasy. They're for real. And I certainly will be taking a deeper dive into the cult of Odin to see what else I can find. Because everything I'm seeing so far, Richard Allen is an innocent man in Indiana who is accused and incarcerated for passing away Abby and Libby. Apparently the cult did it. And after Richard Allen was arrested, one of the lead investigators on the case wrote the prosecution and said, "I think you've got the wrong guy. I really do." And the lead detective has done some interviews since then, and he says, "Yeah, I think they've got the wrong guy, and I think these other people are responsible." So, yeah, take that for what you will, but that's not what this video is about. This video right here, we're talking about Steve G's hat. It says Hex on it. That's the Hex coin. That Hex coin hat represents a mega multi-million-dollar cryptocurrency scam, and he chose to wear it in interviews as he's looking for justice for his daughter. That's sus to us, but maybe he didn't know it was a scam. I don't know. Maybe it's got nothing to do with anything. We're just researching. We really don't know one way or the other, but it certainly does seem like an odd choice to wear that hat during interviews. And the location of the owner in connection to the other Goncalves, Flavio, this investigation is getting weird. The alleged connections that I'm discovering really leave me breathless. We don't really know what any of this means yet, but what we do know, the families and the victims deserve justice, no matter what their families may or may not have been involved in. Steve's wearing a cryptocurrency hat that leads back to a scam. Xana's mother was arrested for drugs. That doesn't mean they don't deserve justice for what happened on 1122 King Road on November 13th at approximately 3 a.m. 4 beautiful college students were passed away in a place that they were supposed to feel safe, a place that we all expect to feel safe, in our homes. That safety was taken from them in the most brutal way imaginable. And thankfully, by some sort of a miracle, Dylan and Bethany were left unharmed. Dylan allegedly even saw the perpetrator leaving the scene and heard his voice, saw him in the black mask, and saw the bushy eyebrows. She even heard crying coming from Xana's room, but for some reason she chose not to call 911 for 8 to 9 hours. Boom. Yeah. And a reminder, in case anyone watching this is even slightly confused. No, I don't think Steve or any family member of any of the victims whatsoever. I really don't. My main concern is that this is some sort of a retaliation passing away, or even a sacrifice. Retaliations are real and sacrifices are real. I mean, seriously, just think about this rationally with common sense. If the cartel was investing their drug money in the cryptocurrency world and they got ripped off, how do you think they'd feel about that? The cartel would be pissed. They'd be super angry about their investment being stolen from them and being spent on a black diamond. And from what we've been told about the crime scene and the victim's wounds, that certainly sounds like something the cartel could and would be involved in, as opposed to a PhD student at college with his whole life ahead of him. So now that we've got the mysterious cowboys and the cryptocurrency Ponzi scheme out of the way, as of right now, I think in my next video, I'm going to take a deeper dive into the actual investigation into this crime. We're going to talk about the police. We're going to talk about some red flags. We're going to talk about some booms documents. I watched the news clips and I rewatched the news clips. And I read your comments and I read your emails, and a lot of you send me in good tips and good leads. And I track down every single one if I'm able. I know some of you out there want me to go into the house and find the secret door. Well, I think I found the secret door without ever even having to enter the house. But stay tuned for that. Boom. And reactors, good luck finding the secret door. Also, every single day I'm studying for the Indiana as well, because that case is super important. Abby and Libby deserve justice, and Richard Allen and his family deserve justice as well. A couple little innocent humans may have been sacrificed, and now an innocent man may be being a patsy in a major case. That's important for all of us, because none of us want to become patsies in any of these cases, do we? No, we don't. So, to wrap this up, if you think I'm doing a good investigation, please smash the thumbs up button. Leave me a comment down below with your thoughts on what we've discussed in this video. Please consider supporting me on Patreon. That's a membership support site, and I'm going to leave a link down below for that. And one quick little last reminder, thank you again for all your prayers towards me. You can never pray too much, so if you're still praying, thank you.
Yeah.
And to everybody that's been wondering about Baby Drip and if he's safe, yes, he is. He's actually doing really, really well. He's here, he's with me, he's under my protection, and nobody in any cult is going to cause Baby Drip harm. Anyways, until next time, remember to stay safe out there, because you know it's a dangerous world.
Yes, it is, sir. Great video. If you want to save it to your playlist, here is the link. And it's true, man. I'm telling you, as soon as I put that freaking notification up with the title from a Delphi episode, I already had 3 freaking warnings.
Yeah.
I changed my damn title. I was like, alrighty. I'm changing my title. I do not want a shotgun. That's for damn sure.
Hmm.
Yeah, it ain't no joke. Let me see here. So
that was interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. And seriously, it's so easy to search. Like I said, when he was wearing those hats, I'm just a curious mind, and I was like, what the hell is that? Looked it up. It didn't take long, like he said. It's right. It's freaking right there. And then if you dig a little deeper than that, you'll see there's a lot of accounts and things like that. But it's for another show.
Yeah.
But yeah, because when you're getting into those, you're kind of like dancing on the line of, defamation and shit like that. So I like staying out of the court system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like staying out of the court system too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's good times when you do that. Let me see what else we got. But is there anything you want to talk about when it comes to what we just watched? Anybody in chat or you, Yola?
No, I just find this case very interesting, very strange, and that's the whole reason why I ended up on here. Yeah, because there's a lot more than just this case. There are other cases that are like this.
Oh yeah.
But this one got the most.
Yeah, I mean,
attention.
this is. Yeah, I mean, shit. I remember when I started out my show, it was really like a current events kind of show, a talk show. It was going to be geared more towards live call-ins and topics that other people would want to call in and talk about, and I am looking for a connector to get my soundboard going so I can actually take calls and do all this stuff at the same time. But we'll have that here probably by the weekend, I'm thinking. But that's this case right here. When I came across it and I saw the press conference where, obviously I first heard it because it was like a huge, I woke up Sunday morning and I was like, whoa, but I didn't get into it yet because I was just waiting for more information to come out. And I remember when the first press conference of Fry standing there in the gravel parking lot saying that it was an unalive situation. Right from that, I was like, that don't make no fucking sense. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I need to look into this more. And because of this case, that's why I ended up talking more true crime than a lot of the other stuff. But we'll be having those painting shows with wine soon. Are you going to
Yeah.
join us for one of those, Yoli? A
Yeah,
glass of wine and some
I'm
canvas?
actually an artist. I'm actually an
Sweet.
artist.
Yeah, we got a lot of artists in the
I
community.
should send
I'm
you some of
excited.
my drawings. I draw
Yeah.
more than paint.
Yeah,
But
I draw
I
too. We're
paint
going to have
too.
drawing streams too, if you guys want.
I used
You
to
guys
work
can send me
with the
stuff.
elderly, and I was
Yeah.
like, I did recreational stuff for them. And so we used to do arts and crafts and stuff like that. And yeah, so
Oh,
I have
cool.
some interesting drawings.
Hell yeah.
But
Yeah, I may do
anyway,
that.
Idaho 4. Sorry. That
Oh,
just,
I
it
was
just,
going to say something about the drawings real quick
oh, go ahead.
before we get back to that. Yeah, like when it comes to the drawing streams, I'm also going to do those too. And you guys can send me in pictures, even if it's pictures of your loved ones, pictures of scenery, different things like that. I will draw those things for you as a special gift as well. So definitely be doing that too. But yeah, back to Idaho. What's up? We are on a true crime right now.
Oh, Idaho. No, just that it kept popping up on the TV and it kept getting weirder and weirder. So I was like, you know, what the hell? So I started watching the news, and then it was a bad time because everything was slow with work because of COVID. And so I started listening, and I was like, what the heck? Like, please, I know I'm not stupid. This doesn't make sense. And so I started looking on Facebook, and then it led me to YouTube, and then it led me to a whole bunch of other stuff because I had no social media hardly at all, only Facebook.
Oh, okay.
So
Is
this case,
is that how you found my show? Was from the Idaho, an Idaho show?
yes, yeah, that's the only
Really?
reason why I went on YouTube, because I started
Okay, was for
listening
the
to all
Idaho pic.
these, yeah, martinis for Yoli.
Yeah, that
That's the
sounds
only
good,
thing
doesn't
I'll drink. Anyway,
Well, what about a martini and a canvas then? How's
yeah,
that?
martinis and murder. That
Oh,
was
there
my
you
thing.
go. Oh yeah, you know what? I wanted to do it. You know what? Let me do. If this is okay, with you, because it's your little thing. What
Ooh,
about if?
chocolate martinis? Yes.
Do you want to draw a logo for martinis in
Yeah,
murder, and we can
I
paint
could.
that?
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Mhm.
Send me a picture of a logo you want it to be, and then we can all do our own little paintings of it. And then
Yeah.
I think that'd be really cool
Ooh, he says we should start
as
a
a first
courtroom
one.
drawing club. Ooh.
Ooh, that's a good
And then
idea.
typically Unique says that sounds like a podcast, martinis and murder. Ooh.
Yeah, it does. It does. It does sound like a podcast.
Hmm.
You should do that, Yoli.
I
You want
should,
me to
because I
help
gotta
you?
find some other line of work. 'Cause, I mean,
You want me to help you?
maybe.
I'll help.
It's just that espresso martinis. Oh my God.
I think that'd be really neat. I'll help you if
I
you want.
love
Just let me know.
martinis. That's the only thing I really drink. I drink wine too, but white wine, but martinis. So no, it's just that the court continued my trial to November 3rd now. And I don't even know if it's gonna go. So it's very frustrating.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah. So I don't know what I have. I mean, it was all good until COVID hit, and then it's like nothing's moving. You know, most of my cases settle, and they do settle, but you know, once defense counsel finds that these cases are not going to trial, they'll milk it. They'll just wait. And then it's like, okay, so I work on contingency, so if I don't settle a case, I don't make money. So I'm thinking, geez, I gotta find something else. I really would like to work at PetSmart at the daycare center for the dogs. Like,
Aw,
seriously, I would be
yeah.
so happy doing that. But, you know, I don't know.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah. Well, I mean, If you do, just let me know, and I'll even help you through your first couple of lives if you want. If you
Yeah,
want to
I
go
could
down
do a
that route,
I could do a
I think you'd be
podcast and
great.
work for. I could do a podcast and work for PetSmart.
Yeah. Jeez.
Right?
3 things going on. There you go.
Yeah.
Can never be too busy, right?
No, but I wouldn't be a lawyer. I wouldn't be a
No.
lawyer if I worked for PetSmart and did a podcast.
I don't know. I think you need to go into criminal.
Or maybe
That's what I
criminal,
think.
yeah.
That's
I
what I
have a
think.
guy that I worked with
Yeah.
on a case, a mortuary case, not too long ago. It's a horrible case. And I thought about talking to you about having a show on it because it's really disturbing. But
Yeah, let's do it.
yeah. And the client,
I
it's
would
on
love to.
appeal. It involves forest lawn, so I have to be very careful about defaming them. You know?
Okay. Well, if there's we can talk about it in the background sometime, but let me know. We'll talk about it some more in the background in Discord or something.
Oh my God, my phone.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
But no, like criminal law, Yoli, like seriously, you got a lot of
But
good points.
But the thing is that for the percentages of people who are innocent versus guilty, I mean, people who are innocent, it's a very low percentage. And people who are guilty, it's a high percentage. And so you get involved in this criminal law, and then you get involved with people who are really guilty who will blame you if you don't get them off, and who will come after you. So that's kind of scary. I don't know.
It is. It's dangerous as hell, that's for sure.
Yeah, my phone dropped. Yeah, because I can't. There's a delay on the computer camera. Like if I do the computer, there's such a delay. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah. You know what I did? I took like a tube, a cardboard tube, and I cut. I about halfway up, I chopped it in half. So it's got the tube, and then halfway up, it's got half a tube. And then I shaved it off at an angle and put little indentations on each side. And so, I mean, here, I'll show you guys.
So you can put your...
Yeah, this holds my phone. I made it's a piece of cardboard tube, and I shaved it so that way it holds my phone. And that's what I used to use for my camera before I got these cameras. I used to use this little thing on.
Oh my God!
Cardboard tube.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah. So just you get a little thing. You just and bam. It because see it even has like a little notch here. Let me see. See a little notch cut out right here.
So where did you get the cardboard tube?
That's so I can have my cords come from the bottom underneath.
Yeah,
so
but
it
where
can be
did you
charging
get the
and have a head.
Where did you get the cardboard tube?
Oh, it had
Is it from
what
wrapping
did it have
paper
on it?
or ribbons or something?
No, it's I think it was like some kind of rope or something. I got it at Menards, and when I was done with it, I was like, well, that'll come in handy someday. And so and then it's got a little notch for your cords to come out, so you can set it on the table, and you can have it charging, have your headphones hooked up, and it'll never fall over. Always stationary, always in the same spot, so your camera can always be in the same spot. I'll make you one.
They
I'll
sell
make you one. Yeah.
I know, but you know what? I use Zoom for depositions, so I don't. Zoom is better. Zoom is like I have my microphone. Zoom, This other thing is I don't know, this live stream, whatever. But yeah. Anyway, but no, it's a thought.
Sorry,
it's
typically unique. I don't know. I just get these crazy ideas and stuff, and
I'm about doing do it yourself. Yeah,
I get to crafting. Yeah, I get to crafting. I'm like, let me think here. Yeah, and I even use it at work too. Yeah,
yeah,
it's cool.
Okay.
Anyway, Yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
Um,
So what's
so,
next? Is there something next?
well, there's a channel that I wanted to watch. Yeah, we're gonna watch a channel called Neek's Peaks. Okay.
All right.
We've watched some of the videos here and there. Now, this is talking about a mute recruit, Pullman PD assistant. Uh, just kind of a little story here
A
that we're going to
mute
check out.
recruit?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I saw the title and I did, we watch the videos from time to time. I saw the title and I was like, you know what, that sounds like it might be kind of interesting. So, you know how I always like to check these videos out with you guys. I kind of save them to watch them with you. That's the fun part of it. And, because who wants to watch the same thing 3 or 4 times,
Yeah.
You want it fresh. You want it fresh.
Yeah. And then talk about it.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Ooh, let me get this
And
channel
then
too real quick.
You want it fresh and then talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pausing it, talking about it. Yeah, I need to get caught up.
Yeah.
It's been a few
All right.
weeks. I haven't done.
Okay.
Is death or imprisonment for life. Do you understand?
Yes.
It's my belief that the inclusion of the police internship through Pullman PD was the police's attempt to prejudice Koberger and make him look like a cop or a cop wannabe to the public, to make him kind of look creepier. But damn, we should have known he got the job. I was totally not expecting to find it. Check it out. And these stickers used to redact Koberger's email address. It states employees info. It actually states that twice, and obviously from the email, and it reads,
Interesting.
quote, Chief Jenkins, it was a great pleasure to meet with you today and share my thoughts and excitement regarding the research assistantship for public safety. I look forward to hearing from you. Best regards, Brian. End quote. Gary Jenkins writes back, quote, Brian, great to meet you and talk with you as well. Gary, end quote. Sounds like a guy who landed the job to me. Sit on this. Technically, the report should have read, Pullman Police Department intern Brian Koberger arrested for Idaho student murders. That narrative would have fit a lot more, I think, and even the pro Brian's innocence side, because a lot of us have been saying it was either the cops or had something to do with the cops. Not to be construed with having something to do with Koberger necessarily, because obviously the police knew that apparently the victims were in a position to be murdered by their own kind, and it's notable that whenever they go to pin this on someone, they pin it on someone who is allegedly pro-blue. And hello, I don't think that Brian's exactly the loser drug addict that people are trying to make him out to be. And the dude has a master's degree and was continuing he was continuing his education, doctoral education, okay? Why the hell would he do that if he had some kind of felonies that he's working off or some kind of charges that the feds are hanging over his head? I highly doubt that he was working for them other than as some sort of operative, agent, farmer, provocateur, infiltrator, mole, however you want to phrase it.
I love her personality. I'd love to have her on the show sometime if she's ever interested.
As has been noted, this often happens in public corruption cases. It's notable that the entire east side of Pennsylvania, shortly before Brian Koberger moves out to Washington, was having yet another round with its public corruption probes and indictments. Almost every single city he's ever lived in has been a subject to this type of investigation, including back in 2009. Police began the FBI probe against the governor and the governor's right-hand man, as journalists called him, Capitol Hill insider John Estee. John Estee is now officially a criminal, pleads guilty to scamming the FBI. That's right, this guy gets with the FBI and they're like, you know what? If you don't want to go down with him, then this is what you're going to do. You're going to take him this bribe. You're going to split it 5 ways, and we're going to prove that these guys are taking bribes and promoting kickbacks in a play or pay scheme. Estee goes, okay, leaves, pockets half the money and only bribes the officials with the other half. That's right. Now, it was noted that Estee later wears a wire for up to 3 years for the FBI during this probe, and the arrests are still being played out over the news and through press releases
Ooh.
into 2021. This would have
Phantom, I just have to say that is a great soundtrack. I love the song from 9 Inch Nails on that soundtrack too. Perfect Drug. That's a great soundtrack, Phantom. I just wanted to say that real quick. Yeah, sorry about the mouth pain there, Nina. Man, that's a great
include the
soundtrack.
Allentown mayor, kickbacks, and public corruption in the Pennsylvania school district that Brian Koberger was actually working for as a security guard. Antioch gets busted, somehow intertangled with the Pittsburgh task force and police, who were also indicted for public corruption for their racist antics, attacking the public and innocent,
StreamYard.
many times completely innocent individuals, with a police dog that had to be retired because they had utilized it to attack so many innocent individuals, and mostly individuals who were of color. Now, it's also, of course, notable that Estee, however the hell you say his name, could possibly be related to the Estee from the 1122 King D.
Right. We went back into this. This was probably 5 months ago. We went into this for an episode. It's very interesting. There is, if you've done some digging on the background of the property, you'd be pretty amazed what you find out. That's one of them.
Dan Estee, who
That's one of 'em.
notably, according to the web, is from Maine, which is not terribly far and is pretty much in the same side of the country as Pennsylvania, so not very far away. They share a last name. Do they share a relation? Because this is an interesting connection indeed. FBI probe informant Estee. Remember when I conjectured if the house had actually been a part of asset seizures amongst criminals who were busted in some other investigation? One truly does wonder about that, because papers and agents of the 1122 LLC began to get switched around
great
in
personality.
exactly the year 2009, and this continues on and throughout until 2018. Notably, Hill and Perky and Estee have shifted the 1122 King resident, an asset that they manage, back and forth between one another as quitclaim deeds, which means they're essentially not paying any money for it, and they're just transferring.
And there's businesses. Truth and Transparency did a great episode on it a long time ago too. Maybe we'll watch that. Maybe we'll watch that tonight. That is from a while ago. It is. When we dug into it like 5 months ago, I think, and I'm telling you, it's a rabbit hole, and you got to be careful. Because again, there's a lot of possibilities of defamation. You just got to be careful. But there's a rabbit hole if you want to go down it. That's for damn sure.
The names back and forth. So Estee has been the deed home residence more than once.
And a role to play in this includes, this is my
they're trying to erase it. An interesting way it's being dealt with.
But this on the order of interesting, but on 9/8/2023, we see a new wave of warrants. One from Amazon, one from Apple, another from PayPal and Venmo, Spotify, and then YouTube. A warrant for someone's YouTube studio, including all analytics on all of their videos and all information pertaining to their monetization. An apparent monetized YouTube partner. Who
What?
it is.
What?
Also, that's Spotify. Who the hell's Spotify do they want?
What?
That some love to love and others love to hate. Bethany was not only summoned to court to testify, but to bring a document. In fact, there's actually no subpoena that's been unsealed that allows us to see that she was actually ever asked to testify. The only hints that we have she was asked to testify are from her attorney in Nevada and the court records relating to that dispute, which Bethany's attorney brought to the Nevada court asking them to squash a subpoena which had come from the Latah County Court trial. He was not arguing that Bethany would have to come during the trial, but during the pre-trial phase of court. Inevitably, the attorneys come to a deal on this, and the court case is noted as being adjudicated through the Nevada court system. That means that the case was handled and that there was no need for a court order. Basically, the attorneys stipulated. This means that the attorneys were able to come to an agreement that no longer needed the order from the court to squash. But the partially unredacted subpoena request with no one's name on it comes through right after it's noted that the dispute was dropped, and this is a type of subpoena. It's one of two types of subpoenas. There's a type of subpoena which requires a person to testify or bring their testimony, and there's a type of subpoena which requires a person to bring tangible evidence, documents, a phone, a picture. It could be literally anything, but it will be a tangible form of evidence and not just the person's testimony. I think that this is another quite undercovered. Another notable is a stipulated agreement between both attorneys, which agree that none of the Idaho student
Alrighty, give me 1 second. Sorry about that. StreamYard booted me out. Sorry about that. That video. Apologize.
student records which are not bound by
Sorry about
federal laws of non-disclosure will also be non-disclosed. They won't be disclosed. Okay, so both attorneys agree that all records which would normally be disclosed will not be disclosed pertaining to this case. And also notes that it's entering limiting access for records pertaining to students, faculty, staff, and records from the University of Idaho's Office of Civil Rights Investigation, OCRI, limiting it to direct review by defense counsel and with the provision that any further dissemination or the use of those records is prohibited, absent a specific order or further on the stipulation of the parties. So there they are, taking control of any records which would normally be disclosed. This protective order pertains to the records obtained from the University of Idaho during the course of the investigation of this case. Those records fall into two categories: records pertaining to Madison Mogen, Kaylee Gonzalez, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle. 2, records from the University of Idaho pertaining to other individuals, including of Civil Rights Investigation, OCRI. By way of background, of records of the University of Idaho are protected by various federal and state laws, including the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, FERPA, as well as various state personal information privacy protections. The state has advised by legal counsel for the University of Idaho that FERPA protections do not survive the death of the subject individual. Consequently, FERPA issued in this case do not apply to the University of Idaho records regarding Madison Mogen, Kaylee Gonzalez, Ethan, and Xana Kernodle. However, other personal privacy protections remain, including protected information as defined by Idaho criminal rule. The state will redact the information in accordance with the Idaho Criminal Rule 16 of Idaho records other than those pertaining to Madison Mogen, Kaylee Gonzalez, Ethan Chapin, and Xana Kernodle. The parties stipulate to the entry of a protective order limiting access of those records to direct review by defense counsel, and with the provision that any further dissemination or use of those records would be prohibited absent a specific court order or further stipulation of the parties. The parties recognize that further dissemination or use may require redaction or compliance with FERPA mandates for notice to the subject persons prior to their dissemination or use. Respectfully submitted, apparently on the 5th day of June 2023. Another interesting tidbit, the UPS warrant was not just to UPS wanting the girls or Ethan's account. It was actually a request for the video on all Moscow-bound trucks from the Pullman UPS station. What the hell? Yes, all inbound trucks for very specific date from the beginning of November into 2 days post the murders. Now, let's just say for shits and giggles that corruption could be an underlying
Love her
factor here.
personality.
Perhaps the victims had uncovered evidence of police corruption, or they were involved in some sort of investigation that could expose illegal activities within the PD. The PD may have wanted them silenced to prevent their corruption from being exposed. Or the suspect, who later becomes a scapegoat, is an easy target. They frame the quadruple murder on the suspect, and maybe he has some sort of connection to the victims and or that investigation, which was previously mentioned. So they fabricate a story that makes him a believable culprit in the eyes of the public. By focusing on this individual, the PD could divert attention away from themselves and ensure that their own involvement remained hidden. The missing woman report, the calls coming in a college community about noise on Labor Day weekend in one case, in a neighborhood that is basically all college students, who many have responded by asking, who the hell is calling the cops in this place? Important to note that the boys who originally had police at their house, who were, according to the call, the source of the noise complaint. The police go out there, they handle the noise complaint, talk it out with the boys, and then take it upon themselves to warn the King Road residents, where the Moscow victims lived, in order to warn them about something that inevitably has not happened. So they did not receive a call about the 1122 King Road residents, yet they go over there. They have a bunch of crazy statements, like noting that they see the JBL speaker, which was actually inside of the back door. The other officer notices that there's no escape or no exit point for the stairs. Oh, there's no stairs for the back deck. Yes, because it's called a balcony, and balconies do not have stairs. But what the hell does he care, and why were they scoping out the place? Now, one really wonders about the police internship allegedly applied for by Coburg. Now, let's talk about the gag orders. The gag orders and the victims' families. There's always the possibility that instead of being a huge constitutional issue, that what we're seeing here is the victims' families being gagged due to them knowing about undercover investigations and or being involved in their own ways and in their own roles in those undercover investigations. Many times, as people do, we grow up and we do the same things that our parents do often. It's possible that the parents of many of the victims are agents or officials themselves, and this is possibly why they were further gagged along with the attorneys who were actually a party Obviously, the Gonzalez were worried that this was a reverse patsy, I guess you could say. They were concerned that basically the prosecuting attorney would put someone get the case appealed or whatever, have it fall through in some way that doesn't look like it is the prosecution's fault. And, well, oops, we tried. But so I think they were concerned about that kind of thing. And their attorney motions for the court to unseal the hearing or let them know what's going on, because it's typically not something that would be sealed to the public. Because if you were to seal the hearing about a conflict attorney, then you could only be concerned with the conflicts that the attorneys in that closed hearing know about. And therefore, there could be other conflicts.
What's up, Rachel?
To the public. So quoting from the motion comes now, or quoting from the order, I'm sorry, comes now, the state of Idaho, by and through Latah County prosecuting attorney and the above defendant,
What's up,
the
Dolphin?
undersigned attorney, and hereby stipulate that the court unsealing the attached redacted copy of the memo summarizing the January 13th, 2023 in-chambers conference, which was filed under seal on January 20th, 2023. The redactions are pursuant to Idaho Court Administrative Rule 32I2D. The following is a summary of the in-chambers Zoom meeting with the Judge Marshall on January 13th, 2023. The following attorneys were present and attending by Zoom: Bill Thompson, prosecutor; Ashley Jennings, senior deputy prosecutor; redacted attorney for redacted; redacted co-counsel attorney for redacted. Damn, some redacted witness has two attorneys. Redacted attorney for redacted; Shannon Gray, attorney for Gonzalez family; and Ann Taylor, public defender for Brian Koberger. Judge Marshall and the clerk, Jennifer Oliphant, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Oliphant? Yeah, anyway, was also present. All right. So this meeting was off the record, and Judge Marshall read the substantial parts of the non-dissemination order that was issued January 3rd, 2023. Judge Marshall reminded the parties that the order mirrors Idaho rules of professional conduct. Judge Marshall directed everyone's attention to the commentary for the rules, specifically subparagraphs 1 and 3. Judge Marshall states that her reading of commentary 3 leads her to believe that the rule applies to all lawyers participating in the Zoom meeting, not only the state and defense, but also attorneys for witnesses. Judge Marshall directed everyone's attention to the commentary for the rules, specifically paragraphs 5 and 7. After the review 3 and 6, Judge Marshall explained that the purpose for the meeting was in response to what she's been seeing and hearing through various media sources. She's tried to ignore most media covering the case since she will be presiding over the preliminary hearing. This case has garnered national and international attention. This is a high-profile case, and she wants to remind all attorneys not to engage in any conduct that would interfere with a fair trial. Because of the nature of the case, this will be a long process. She further advised that it is not responsible for attorneys in this case to disseminate information to the media. She is not ordering clients, i.e. witnesses, not to talk to the media, but she stressed that this case should not be tried in the media but in the court of law. Lawyers involved needed to take their duties in the utmost regard, in direct quotes, when conducting themselves and advising their clients. Judge Marshall stated she wanted to make her expectations clear regarding the lawyers' ethical duties described above. If lawyers fail to adhere to their ethical duties, she will have to fine them in contempt of her order and or report their actions to the Idaho State Bar. She's threatening to have them disbarred here. Important note. He had reached out after the non-dissemination order was issued, asking for clarification, and he didn't receive a response. He asked if the order precludes victims/witnesses from speaking. Judge Marshall reiterated that her order does not preclude witnesses from speaking. Redacted responded that he expects his client, redacted, will be a witness in this case. He also expects that the descendants' families will be witnesses in this case, since it is a potential capital case and they would be called to testify. Now, FYI, testifying is the absolute wrong word for what witnesses are allowed to do in a capital case if they were not testifying for the actual trial. And it's technically a post-conviction, even if that's not what the court calls it, because it's not actually in the categorical post-conviction phase. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so it's basically that phase, but not. It's kind of in a weird gray area. area, but it's definitely not the same as testifying. You don't get a subpoena, you're not forced to do it, you don't have to do it, and you can actually forego doing it just because you wanted to versus testifying in court. Okay, completely different thing that they're trying to convince us that the families fall into right here. It's very strange to see them all like gang up on it. He has handled numerous homicide cases, it says, including capital cases during his career. He assures the court he has advised his client, redacted, to decline all media and will continue to do that. He and his client, okay, there's actually a typo here. It says he and his client and will not comment, but he and his client will not comment, and as it would be inappropriate to comment. Judge Marshall appreciates Redacted's perspective. Judge Marshall reiterates she is not saying that clients cannot talk to the media, but does question whether it is wise for them to talk to the media, reminds lawyers to have a responsibility to advise their clients, and if any lawyer has questions, then they need to take it up with the Idaho State Bar to seek clarification. Shannon Gray speaks about emailing the state and wanting to contact the court to seek clarification. Mr. Gray stated that he would seek clarity from the Idaho State Bar. Judge Marshall responded that she appreciates Mr. Gray reaching out, but that she has had limited accessibility with a full court calendar. This is why she had scheduled this meeting. Mr. Gray discusses PC affidavit and alleges that information is getting leaked from the prosecutor's office. Judge Marshall reminds the parties about IRPC 3.6 and the lawyer's duties. Lawyers should not be speculating. Judge Marshall says that the public record is what it is
2 days
in the
ago.
court's case file, and it is not information reported by the media. Judge Marshall clarifies that attorneys are not prohibited from advising their clients, but they are prohibited from speaking to the media. You can advise your client about what might happen at the status hearing, but you should not be speculating what will happen at the media. So she's actually directly getting on to Shannon Gray about Fox Nation's host Ashley Banfield, asking him, so you're a prosecuting attorney, Shannon Gray, what do you think? Blah, 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 blah. And so they directly are pissy with him about that. So Shannon Gray speaks about emailing the state and wanting to contact wrong spot. Judge Marshall also reminds attorneys that their statements made must also be true. Who's she getting on to for lying? Mr. Gray takes issue with the interpretation of substantially prejudices, referring to
He sure did talk a
substantial
lot, you know?
likelihood of materially prejudicing an adjudicative proceeding in the matter. States his client Gonzalez have kept this story alive and that their comments have helped the investigation. Judge Marshall explains the necessity of convening an impartial jury in Latah County. The public is obsessed with this case, she says, and comments are harming the ability to impanel a jury. All parties need to allow the judicial process to see this case through. Mr. Gray responds that it is unrealistic to believe that we will find a jury in the U.S. that hasn't heard about this case. Mr. Gray takes issue that he was not given a lot of notice that they would be having this meeting, and he was not given enough time to prepare. Judge Marshall reminds the parties
He
that
wanted
the
to
Constitution
cross-examine.
still applies in this case. Lawyers
He
have a
wanted to
duty to
cross-examine.
uphold the system and
It's like,
allow the
dude.
system to see the case through. Redacted reminds Mr. Gray that he's creating a record by his media interactions. His statements are being captured by the defense. All of his statements impact the case and advise Mr. Gray to exercise resistance. Mr. Gray takes issue with Redacted's advice. Judge Marshall stops any argument. Damn, Judge Marshall, why you did us like that? Judge Marshall
got a great
solicits final
personality.
comments from those in attendance. Prosecutor Thompson states that many of Mr. Gray's accusations are not true. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Oh, are they not true, Bill Thompson? The state is concerned about the ability to impanel a jury. Dirty dirt. I'm just kidding. Okay, that's not what it says. What it really has said, though, was he is hopeful that all parties will begin to show professional responsibility. Damn, yeah, check yourself or you wreck yourself, Bill Thompson, looking at himself in the mirror going dirty dirt. Redacted states that she had,
You know, getting his feet all slammed on the court carpet, you know, standing up. "Well, Your Honor, Your Honor." Like, come on.
advised. This is she, Redacted.
Dude, stressful.
Redacta states that she has advised Redacted client. She has advised Bethany or
She
Dylan.
is funny as hell.
Redacted not to comment. She takes blank. She takes Redacto, the dude redacted, he who shall not be named. She
I need to
takes
have
he
her
who
on the
shall not be
show.
named's position. She takes Voldemort's position. Ann Taylor thanks the court and expresses appreciation.
I need to have her on the
So
show. I
I
bet
have
we'd
a
have
lot
a
of beef
blast.
with Ann Taylor and her whole little acting crew over there.
Really?
But I have a way bigger issue with Bill Thompson and his group of thugs. So you got to take note and kind of laugh that Brian Koberger, the one who theoretically should have been more concerned than anyone at the end. Ann Taylor thanks the court and expresses appreciation. No, thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate everyone. Woo! Have I mentioned this fucking case? This fucking case. Important to note that here again we had a case
my
that
God,
has
she's
Shannon
awesome.
Gray highlighted. Historically has been open to the public that they tried to seal, and that victim's family, Gonzalez's family's attorney, motioned for them to redact what they needed and unseal that shit to the public. Another thing that I've legitimately never ever seen redacted
Damn, I need
that
to
I
get
see
her on the
redacted
show.
in this case is the medical examiner from Spokane, Washington. Where the hell is this examiner and who are they and why are they redacted?
Yeah,
so
in
why
Washington.
that public official and why that name would be redacted
Good question.
here is kind of conflicting, and
Right.
this should highlight that could represent a conflict of interest as well. I don't understand that, and I've not seen that before to even speculate much about that for the moment, because I, unlike all of your other favorite YouTubers, just kidding, that was so hatery to say. I'm not gonna pretend
She's
to know
funny
about
as
shit
hell.
that I don't know. If I don't know something, I'll be like, I don't fucking know, and I have no idea why they would do this, and I've not ever seen that before, so I'm not ready to fully analyze that yet. So another undiscussed form is the Strava warrant. This is for a smartwatch, and it appears to be for one smartwatch. So whose smartwatch was it? Come on, throw them guesses out, because it ain't gonna tell us.
I know we would have. Yeah, for real. Like I can imagine us going on the fly, working off each other. I can imagine it would be a freaking blast. I could already tell from her personality. It would be a hell of a freaking night. That's for sure. Yeah, I gotta try and get her on the show for sure. That's pretty interesting. A lot of good points too. I'm kind of curious to see what her Ann Taylor beef is. If I can get her on the show, I would love to have her talk about her Ann Taylor beef, because we would have a difference of opinion on that. But I'm sure we would be in agreement with it when it comes to her thoughts on Bill Thompson. So we could start it off with a little, well, I don't know, difference of opinion, agree to disagree, and then at the end, totally agree on the Bill Thompson thoughts. Oh man, that would be a hell of a show. That would be a hell of a show. We'll see. I'll reach out to her and see if she'd be interested. So let me see here. It's already 10 o'clock. Let me see. We're already at 3.5. I need to have some fun at the lounge tonight too. Since it's already 10 o'clock, I'd usually be ending the night shows about this time. Again, tomorrow, the notification's out already. If you're interested, I'll be having the architect on the show tomorrow. And we will be talking. Where is it? There it is right there. We will be talking the Tupac case tomorrow. I'll be having the architect on the show. That'll be the daytime true crime show for tomorrow. Then we'll be back tomorrow evening talking some more Idaho 4, some Delphi, and some of these other cases as well. So if you're interested in the Tupac, come hang out with us in the morning. Also, I'm going to go ahead and save that. We'll get into that 1122 King Road background. We'll get into that in tomorrow night's True Crime late night in the episode. And I'm gonna go ahead and I mean that was a great video too. I definitely got to reach out. I'm gonna definitely go leave a comment on the video. Give me 1 second. Let me share the link again. Definitely go show some love on this video, please. And you know, tell her you're from CJ. I need to get her on. I think we would have a hell of a freaking time. And I think we could even, if she would ever be interested, maybe having like a segment too, or once a week we can get together and just chit chat about all of it, just about everything. Because I can already tell from her personality too. Like it would just be jokes left and right, t-shirts, t-shirts all freaking night, t-shirts all night. But we'll save that 1122 King Road episode for tomorrow night. So I'm going to go ahead and end the show over here. I'm going to hit up the lounge here in about 15 minutes. And we'll be kicking it over there for a while. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to be doing at the lounge. We might watch something. I might play something. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. But we'll just go kick it, though. We'll just hang out and kick it. Started off with some music and... yeah, just chill back and hang out. Why is it doing that? Phantom, I don't know why somebody's flagging your comment, buddy. There we go. That's dumb shit. All right, so I'll see you guys tomorrow morning if you want to hang out for the Tupac show. Otherwise, we'll be talking Idaho 4 again tomorrow. We're going to get into the 1122. We'll get into some more other that stuff. And I'm really considering starting the body cam deep dive on Saturday. Late morning, early afternoon, honestly. We'll see. I really want to get into that damn body cam. So thank you all for hanging out. Yoli, thank you so much for your company. If you're not busy tomorrow and you'd like to hop on, I'd love to have you on too. Just let me know. I'll be on at 9:30 a.m. Central or Eastern. And then we'll be back on tomorrow night at 6:30 p.m. Central, 7:30 p.m. Eastern will be late night tomorrow night. And if you want to come hang out at the lounge, we'll see you over at the lounge. And if you don't have the link, I'll put it in chat. And then back now the show. Thank you so much, everybody. I appreciate you. Back in the studio.
Just what I am. That's all. That's all.